Time is a Philly, and here is the starting lineup he will face, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams on this Mexican night, according to the Fanatic. Chuck Carr leads off in center field. Jerry Brown is at third base. Gary Sheffield, the Marlins right fielder. Jeff Conine back to the cleanup spot. Greg Colbert gets the start. He's at first base. Benito Santiago behind the plate. Kurt Abbott at shortstop. Brett Barbary at second. And on the mound, David Weathers.
And for the Phillies tonight on defense, Milt Thompson, Jim Eisenreich in center field, Tony Longmire in right for the second straight night, Mariano Duncan at third, Kevin Stocker shortstop, Mickey Morandini batting first, and playing second base, John Kruk at first. Aaron Dalton catches on the mound, the first time he has been back in this league since 1990, Vernando Valenzuela.
There is Vernando Valenzuela wearing number 33 as a Philly, carried a 10-3 mark in the Mexican League with a 2.70 ERA. As Wheel said, he has not pitched in the NL since 1990 as a member of the Dodgers. Did pitch with the California Angels in '91, last year with the Baltimore Orioles, and tonight he makes his Philadelphia Phillies debut, and a good crowd gathering, a lot of anticipation behind the first start of Fernando. Chuck Carr, who was not in the National League when Fernando was last pitching, leads things off for the Marlins. Fernando, in his old accustomed ways from the right side of the pitching rubber, delivers his first pitch of the Philly outside for a ball, 1-0. Well, the hype is over. It's time to see what Fernando has. Off the end of the bat, foul ball, and maybe got Aaron Dalton at the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike.
And that got his right shoulder a little bit. You know, they get those stingers right on the point of the shoulder sometime, and you'll see right here as it goes off, right off that unprotected area. Javier Lopez was wearing a pad on his shoulder over the weekend. Not a bad idea.
After looking skyward, he delivers down low, 2-1.
That was a screwball. Fernando, of course, had the great screwball when he had the glory years. He also had a pretty good breaking ball, and he threw just hard enough that you couldn't sit on his fastball.
That's way outside. It's 3-1.
That was another screwball that he just threw there that he missed with. And there's that look that people became so accustomed to.
Trying to hold up, might have been ball 4.
It's a breaking ball. So he's thrown a couple screwballs and then a 3-1 breaking ball to Chuck Carr. I'd have thought think he was going to get a fastball then.
Turned it over, the screwball's fouled away, the count is full. A big day for Fernando Valenzuela, back in the major leagues, and some people thought after his stint last year with the Orioles they might not see Fernando in the big leagues again. Did not get an invitation to spring training this year. Went to Jalisco with the Cowboys in the Mexican League. This is popped up foul and just below us. Count stays full on Chuck Carr. Fernando bored in Mexico. Sure was an interested observer today as Mexico tied Italy in the World Cup, and now he's out there on the mound for the Phillies for the first time at age 33, we believe. Fouled out of play, it's still 3-2. Chuck Carr making Fernando work in his first ever batter faced as a Philly. Doesn't look all that different.
He really does.
Got that Ruthian build of the thin legs and a bigger top hat.
You know, even in his glory days, Fernando always threw a lot of pitches. And Lasorda will leave him in games. Fernando pitched a tremendous number of complete games in a Dodger uniform. And that was the thing with him. He was a workhorse as a workhorse, and it probably blew him out a little earlier than he might have, all those innings he pitched.
Ball is hit pretty well to left field. Thompson broke back. Now he comes in, and that's the first out of the ball game.
You know what you had to like about Fernando, the first battery phase, was he came inside to Chuck Carr several times, and that time he came inside to him again and jammed it and got him to hit that fly ball to left field.
Here's Jerry Brown batting .295. Brown has started a lot of games this year with the Marlins in a variety of positions. 50-second start, so he's usually in the lineup. He's just not sure where he's playing. Nothing in one to Brown. Crowd still filing in, expecting 40,000, maybe more. A lot of people on this nice evening coming out to watch Vernando in his debut. Turned that over and got him to pop it up. John Kruk in foul territory. 2 away. So the screwball gets Jerry Brown. 2 outs. So far, so good.
Yeah, that looked familiar, seeing a right-handed hitter go after that screwball and hit it weakly somewhere.
The screwball for Vernando is enhanced from the spot where he pitches on the pitching rubber. He is almost off the pitching rubber on the right-hand side as he toes it up. He's coming at you at an angle.
And that's right, and that's what he wants to do, is he uses that to use more of the area to have the screwball go away from these right-handed batters.
Gary Sheffield, the batter, outside for a ball, 1-0.
He and Darren Dalton spent quite a bit of time before the game talking about the hitters and Fernando's approach. Now Darren just called a screwball, and that's what he wants. He threw it and missed with it.
Still his bread and butter, Vernando, with that screwball. Gary Sheffield has never faced Vernando. Only 2 Marlins have. Benito Santiago, who's in the lineup, Dave Magadan, who's not. Called strike 2-1.
Looked like a slider. The ball had some bite inside, and that's where Sheffield likes it, and he just froze on it.
That one's hit pretty well to right field, but Longmire gets back. A perfect 1-2-3 inning for Vernando. Not quite Fernando mania yet, but not a bad start.
2 fireworks spectaculars with music, boom booms, and a breathtaking aerial display Thursday and Friday, July 14th and 15th after the Phillies play the Dodgers at 7:35. Millen PSFS Fireworks. Call 463-1000.
Top half of the first inning was perfect for Fernando Valenzuela. And let's take a look at the Phillies starting lineups, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams. Mickey Morandini hit his first home run of the year last night. He's leading off once again. Mariano Duncan at third base, John Kruk at first, Darren Dalton behind the plate. Same lineup as last night. Jim Eisenreich at center field, Milt Thompson at left, Tony Longmire in right field, Kevin Stocker at short, and a left-handed hitting dominated lineup finishes with Fernando Valenzuela on the mound.
Jeff Conine in left field, Chuck Carr the center fielder, and Gary Sheffield in right comprise the outfield for the Florida Marlins. Jerry Brown at third base, Kurt Abbott is the shortstop, Brett Barbary at second, and Greg Colburn at first base. Benito Santiago the catcher, and on the mound a 6'3", 205-pound right-hander, Dave Weathers.
Weathers on the year 7-6, 13 decisions in his 15 starts. He's really come on this year with a 3.54 ERA. Using the bullpen as well as out of the rotation last year and fared much better as a starter. He'll give you some innings. He's been the most consistent Marlins starter this year. And he will start things off against Mickey Morandini. First pitch to Mickey, the call and strike, 0-1.
Phillies have seen Weathers a couple times, and I think his best pitch is probably a sinking fastball.
Sinker slider type pitcher.
There it is. That's a sinker that went out of the strike zone a little bit, but you're going to see Weathers throw a lot of sinking fastballs to these left-handed hitters and try and get them to pull it. You almost have to approach a David Weathers the way the Marlins need to approach a Valenzuela, and that's, I think, hit the other way because they're going to try and run the ball away.
Mickey has that average up close to 300, 295. He's a pregame guest on First Pitch pregame show with Larry Rosen.
No, that was a strike just then, but Santiago stabbed at it, Todd, and missed it, and I think he lost his pitcher a pitch, because that can fool an umpire sometimes when a catcher does that.
It's not unusual for balls to get through. This team leads in wild pitches and pass balls in the league. Weathers starts off Mickey Morandini with 4 out of the strike zone. 4 out of 5, and Morandini leads things off with a walk. And Mickey really likes that leadoff spot, becomes a little bit different hitter there.
Yeah, well, you have to, you know, as Lenny Dykstra says so many times, you have to think situations. And when you lead off, you think situation player. And, you know, you're leading off the ball game, you want to get on base right there, and that's just what he did.
Mariano Duncan batting .274, 6 home runs and 42 RBIs. And in the latest All-Star balloting tabulations that we received today, he still has a nice-sized lead at second base. Called strike, 0-1. Dunk leading Ryan Sandberg by close to 500,000. And Rhino, of course, is retired, so that'll cut into his number of votes. Mariano, you can expect, barring a miracle, will be starting come July 12th in Pittsburgh.
And he has never been on an all-star team. And Mariano Duncan, one of the really nice guys in this game. Everybody around here is really happy for him. It's not a done deal yet, but as you said, Todd, it appears to almost be, and everybody's really happy for him because he will enjoy it.
Counts 1-1 on Duncan. Pitch down low, it's 2-1.
Phillies have a good approach to Weathers so far. See if they can continue it. They know that he's going to try and get him to chase sinker balls out of the strike zone. To beat this guy, you must make him bring the ball up.
Weathers, 24 years of age, born and still residing in Tennessee. Tonight, Weathers gets to play the supporting role in this pitcher's matchup. Vernando gets all the attention.
Morandini leading off with the Marlins. You always want to know, well, where did the guy come from? What other organization? Because they don't have their own players yet.
Morandini on the move, and Duncan in some pain after chopping a foul off his foot.
Looked like they were playing hit and run that time, and with a sinker ball pitcher, you're going to have some people beat some balls off their legs. There goes Morandini, and Duncan hits it right off that instep. You see, he had the guard on there, but it didn't touch that.
Still some agony as he steps out of the box.
David Weathers was a #3 pick of the Blue Jays in June of 1988, and then selected by the Marlins in the second round of the expansion draft. So everybody you see out there from the Florida ball club came from somewhere else. They're still not producing their own players, but will eventually. They did have Charles Johnson up when the Phillies were in Miami just for that weekend, and he is a highly thought-up prospect.
Weathers made his debut with the Blue Jays back in 1991. Has split time between AAA and the big league since then. 2-2 pitch is inside, the count's full.
Good time to run now. Duncan does a pretty good job making contact, and Morandini, good base runner.
Just underway from the vet, in case you're just joining us, Fernando Valenzuela with a perfect 1-2-3 top half of the first. Nicky Morandini walked in the bottom half, and with nobody out, Mariano Duncan has a full count. Morandini is moving. This is sent into shallow right center field, and just beyond the infield cutoff. Brett Barbery makes the play and looks his former Olympic teammate back to first base. Mickey gets back there. One away here in the bottom of the first. I'll bring up John Kruk. Krucker, who saw his average dip below 300 for the first time in over 2 years. That didn't last long to get him back over the 300 mark. Last night, Krucker with 3 hits, 3 for 4 to move that average to 308. And in 6 at-bats against Weathers in his career, he has 4 hits.
Weathers is a little slow to the plate, and you might see Morandini try and steal a base. It all depends on whether or not they gave him a don't steal to keep the hole open on the right side. Phillies have been playing a lot of hit and run with Kruk lately too, and Fergosi's been trying to get him going again, and sometimes you can do that by playing hit and run, keep a guy concentrating.
There's a called strike. No balls and 2 strikes. Weathers is trying to shorten up a bit. A little, not quite a slide step, but a little bit of a hitch and then go.
Right, because he's a guy normally you can run a little bit on him.
There's There's a ball ripped to center field. Carr over, plays it on one hop. A great play. Over to third goes Morandini. Carr made a stab at that and kept John Kruk to a single.
That was a good play by Carr because he was shaded a little bit towards left center, and John pulled the ball towards right center, and with his great quickness he got there, and then as Todd said, he kind of took a stab at it, and the ball went in his glove. That's a high sinker ball. That's what the Phillies want to try and make Weathers do. Look at the speed of Carr, and then cut that ball off. That looked like it was going to be a double, and Morandini would have scored.
Cost the Phillies a run. If that gets by him into the wall, Morandini scores with ease. Instead, it's first and third, one out. Marlins playing for two against Darren Dalton. Called strike outside corner. Dalton leads the team with 15 home runs and 55 RBIs, and he has been just on a tear as of late. Average up to 304. That one's fouled back, and Weathers, like he was against Kruk, ahead 0-2. Dalton batting a lusty .516 in his last 8 games. 10 runs and 10 RBIs in 8 games.
1 for 4 lifetime off Weathers, but with 3 runs batted in. They say Santiago is just tremendous on balls in the dirt this year. He spent the last few years olaying balls, you know, just kind of cooling them back there. Living off the reputation, I think, a little bit of how good he once was. And then he said really going back to the bases, and he saw his whole body shift then. And he's so quick back there that Santiago can be the best in the league at just what you saw then when he wants to be.
1-2 pitch is fouled away. We mentioned that Marlins were first in the league in wild pitches and pass balls, but a lot of that can be attributed to Charlie Huff.
Right.
The knuckleballer on the staff.
And a very young staff. You know, they're constantly. Last night you saw a young pitcher up here who pitched 2 innings last night, Miller, and he's gone. They sent him out after the game.
1-2 pitch, grounded foul.
Weathers kind of jumps at the hitters. There's Charlie Huff, the ancient one, who will not pitch in this series, unfortunately. It's always fun to do a Charlie Huff game, because the fans are sitting there saying, I could hit that thing. He's amazing. Still in baseball.
Foul off Santiago, and the count stays 1-2 on Darren Dalton.
Weathers is making some pretty good pitches on Dalton so far, and Darren's been able to foul him off. As you mentioned, Todd, he's been a hot hitter. A lot of times when you're hot, you're able to do that and then get something you can handle.
Charlie Huff and Vernando, although they both played with the Dodgers, missed each other by about 3 months. In 1980, Huff went to Texas. Vernando joined the Dodgers later that year. 1-2 pitch is inside. It's 2-2 on Darren Dalton. Phillies with runners on first and third, 1 out.
It's another one. And this guy is making great pitches to Dalton, and he's just fouling them off. That was down and away, probably a strike on the outside corner, and he just spoiled it. I think he runs some baby-faced guys out there, these Florida Marlins, except for Huff.
Breaking ball chopped towards second. Barbary flips to Abbott 1. Relay not in time. Phils take a 1-0 lead. On the RBI fielder's choice by Darren Dalton, his 56th run batted in on the year.
Good base running by Kruk, too, because they were hoping that he was going to run into that and then make a tag double play. See, Kruk, he stops. And that's what you should do in that situation. Make them try to turn it. Dalton runs well, just beats it, and the Phillies get a run out of it. Kruk helped make that play.
So now a runner on first base with 2 away. Jim Eisenreich will bat. Called strike, 0-1. Dalton was the toughest to double up in the National League last year, and it paid off in the first inning tonight. Fernando Valenzuela, and the Phils have a 1-0 lead. Well, pop fly foul. And Weathers is ahead of his third straight batter, 0-2. Pitches, and we're still in the first.
Weathers has not thrown that many breaking balls either, and the scouting reports on him are right on about all the sinker balls.
That pitch rides up in the strike zone, and Eisenreich fouls it away. Still 0-2.
I'd like to send belated birthday wishes along the night to Thelma Ewing of Huntington Valley. Happy 76th birthday to Thelma. Her birthday was on Friday, but we didn't get the letter until Saturday. So happy birthday, Thelma. We hope you're watching tonight and enjoying the game. We got a letter from your daughter, Linda.
1-2 the count to Eisenreich. Phillies lead the Marlins early on, 1-0.
Steady Jim Eisenreich. See by those numbers.
Swing and a miss. Santiago tags them for the final out, and that'll do it for the Phillies, but they put up 1 run. 1 hit, 1 man left on base. We head to the second. Fernando's second chance.
The Phillies will be out to stop Gwynn win, and they have a gift that will make your head spin when the Padres come to town for a big Fly-Night doubleheader. Friday, July 22nd at 5:05, Saturday the 23rd at 7:05, and Sunday the 24th at 1:35 when kids 14 and under get a blue Phillies cap free. Heads up, hats on, our Padres who are at the vet. Order your tickets now. Call 463-1000.
Cento Italian Food Products is rooting for the Phils this season. For every Phillies home run, Cento will donate $200 to the Philadelphia Child Guidance Center. Cento has a full quality line of Italian tomatoes, all-purpose crushed tomatoes, tomato puree, and Italian peeled tomatoes.
Jeff Conine to lead things off for the Marlins in the second against Fernando Valenzuela, who looks skyward and delivers a breaking ball. Sent to left field, pretty well hit, but Milt Thompson backs up, and Fernando has retired the first 4 as a Philly.
First 2 balls, the balls they hit in the first inning were not hit all that hard. He got in on Carr and Sheffield off the end of the bat. Conine hits this one pretty hard. He lined it, he just didn't get it much in the air and had a lot of top spin and came down to Thompson.
Not only were the Marlins not in existence when Fernando last pitched in the National League, but most of these players were somewhere in the double-A, single-A levels. Greg Colbrin, he's been bothered by elbow injuries for the last few years as he steps in there, and that pitch misses outside 1-0.
This guy can hit. This guy was in the Expos organization, was a catcher. But as Todd said, he's had a lot of elbow problems, and he can swing the bat, and he's starting to help them a little bit. He reminds you of Bagwell a little bit. And I'm not saying he's a player like Bagwell, but he's built a lot like him. He has kind of an open stance. He's strong, like a Bagwell, and he is an offensive player.
That pitch misses badly. It's 2-1. Colbrin was in single-A Jacksonville last time Fernando was in the National League. Colbrin just 24 years of age. Fernando doesn't waste much time. The 2-1 pitch is outside at 3-1.
Something seeing him out there because he pitched so well in this ballpark. Here's who's comparing him to Bagwell a little bit, even with a leg going up. Fernando won 7 straight games here at Veterans Stadium dating back to '84.
Fernando's got great numbers in this ballpark.
We remember him, Todd, is pitching very, very well here almost all the time when he would come into Veterans Stadium. So 7 straight wins is something that he carries into the ballgame tonight here at Veterans Stadium.
8-2 lifetime in the vet with a 2.65 ERA.
Some of his best strikeout games in his career have come in this ballpark.
He loses Colbrin. That's the first base runner of the night for the Marlins. Colbrin there with 1 out. Now bring up a guy who's faced Vernando a few times, Benito Santiago. 6 for 30 in his career, including 1 home run.
Happy birthday today to Ann Rowan of Drexel Hill. Happy 77th to Ann.
Outside 1-0. Vernando last year, when he joined the Orioles, was the American League Pitcher of the Month in the month of July. Maybe the Phillies are getting him just at the right time. Did struggle towards the end of the year. That might have been from pitching almost a year and a half consecutively.
Vernando was always pretty good at holding runners on, too. More with his front leg kick than with his move to first base. He was always kind of deceptive.
He has missed a few times tonight by a good margin, including that last pitch. 2-0 on Santiago.
Well, he has to pitch that way. He has to pitch in and out and keep the ball away from the middle of the plate.
Now it's 3-0.
Santiago is pretty much a wild swinger, and he's been very patient in this at-bat.
Santiago has been a bit more patient this year. He's walked 18 times. That's on the outside corner, 3-1. Fernando Valenzuela arriving yesterday. Press conference before the Phillies-Marlins game last night. Pitch with the runner on the move is fouled away. It's 3-2.
And Santiago chased ball 4 there. But Santiago loves the ball up. That's normally where you try to pitch him and get him to chase high fastballs. Right-handers, they'll try to get him to chase breaking balls in the dirt, but high fastballs are a pitch he will go after. If you don't get it high enough, he can kill it.
In on the fist, popped up, foul out of play.
Pretty good slider. Fernando's thrown just enough sliders to jam some of these right-handed hitters early because they're all looking for stuff away.
Vernando with the glory years with the Dodgers from the early 80s all the way through the decade. Really 81 through 86 were the 6 big years in a row. Ripped.
And hit Cookie.
Off of third base coach Cookie Rojas.
Cookie's acting like it didn't even hit it. That ball hit it too.
'81 Rookie of the Year and Cy Young Award winner. 6-time All-Star. '86 won 21 games and threw 20 complete games.
Unheard of. That's what I mean. He pitched a lot of innings.
20 complete games. Another full count pitch is fouled away. So again, Vernando having to work hard like he did in the first inning with Chuck Carr.
You can see he can't quite put hitters away, and that's to be expected at this point in his career. At one time, Vernando could put you away because he had such devastating stuff, and he was a strikeout pitcher. But he's already thrown quite a few pitches here into the second inning.
Struck out 240, 208, and 242 in 3 consecutive seasons.
Yeah, that's a strikeout pitcher.
Now he's just trying to get some hitters to come off balance and hit them at fielders or pop them up.
It's going to wear out Colbert.
3-2 the count on Santiago. 1 out. We're in the second. Phillies leading 1-0 in the debut of El Toro, Fernando Valenzuela.
He's got Cookie Rojas jumping down there. That ball was in. on Santiago, and he pulled it foul. So they tried everything in and away, up and down with Santiago, and they can't quite put him away. There's Cookie, a big, big fan favorite in this town for a lot of years.
Baseball had its centennial. They had a vote for the most popular second baseman, as well as the rest of the positions, and Cookie won it for the Phillies. That ball's ripped again. It's pulled. Santiago continues to stay alive. That fan had a glove and missed it.
The guy behind him made sure it didn't get by him. They're having some fun with their buddy.
So long at bat for Santiago. Vernando, who pitched on Friday with 3 days rest going into tonight's start, but only pitched 5 innings in Mexico. This one is in fair territory, and who wants it? Kevin Stocker out, Milt Thompson in, and now it's in foul territory. Stocker makes the play.
That's a heck of a battle those two just had. They know each other well. Todd said Santiago has batted off Valenzuela over the years, and he really battled him, and Fernando did not give in and walking. He kept throwing him strikes.
Still a little unusual to see Fernando wearing that uniform.
This is fun. What the heck? You know, you take it for what it's worth right now, and maybe Fernando Valenzuela is going to help the Phillies, but it's great to see a star like him back in the league, and you just hope he can pitch well, because he was something to watch at one time. He was as good as this league had.
There's a ball ripped to right field for a base hit. Colburn will stop at second, so the Marlins have first and second with 2 outs as Kurt Abbott rips a single to right.
Happy birthday tonight to PRISM viewer Russ Fama, brother of our good friend Pete Fama, who helps us out on these telecasts. This is an approach a lot of hitters should take off of Valenzuela, and that's look for the ball away and maybe hit it that way. And they started him with a fastball up and out over the plate, and Abbott hit it right in the hole.
So here's Brett Barbery. 2 outs and 2 on. Barbery, a switch hitter, takes pitch on the outside corner, 0-1.
The backdoor breaking ball. Most of Fernando's breaking balls tonight to these right-handed hitters have been hard in. That one he started away and caught the corner.
Vernando wearing the number 33. Ben Rivera on a rehab assignment, owns 34. That pitch is missed by Dalton, who can't find it. Colburn, though, does not take advantage as Darren now locates the ball. 1-1.
It's a screwball. And Dalton, he couldn't find it, but it was close enough to him that with 2 outs, those base runners did not want to make a mistake. They did the dugout just call out to Bill Hahn to ask him to look at the baseball. The hitter didn't. That was interesting. That came from the dugout. And he did toss a new baseball out to him. Like any new pitcher you catch, Dalton has to figure out the movement on the ball, and Valenzuela has good movement on his screwball away. And that was a pitch that Dalton missed.
2-1 to count on Barbery, 2 on with 2 outs. Right field, easy play. Longmire there. Vernando has 2 shutout innings under the belt. We head to the bottom of the second, 1-0 Phillies.
It's a free Lenny Dykstra t-shirt for kids 14 and under, compliments of Modell Sporting Goods when the Phillies take on the Dodgers Sunday, July 17th at 1:35. A shirt with the dude, a game with the Dodgers. Call 463-1000.
Phillies Dream Week is a fun-filled, magical week in Clearwater. You can live, learn, play, and laugh with Bo and Cash Lazinski, many more. 938-1200. Call 938-1200. You can make that call right now. Space is limited. They have a new 4-year payment plan in effect. So we'd like to see you at Dream Week next year. 938-1200. Make that call right now.
Milt Thompson, the batter, to lead things off for the Phils here in the second. 6th pitch out of the strike zone after a called strike. It's 1-1. Mill batting .279. He has 3 home runs and driven in 24 runs.
Tim Bergosi, Todd's playing all his left-handed hitters tonight.
Bouncing ball past Barbary into right center field for the Phillies' second hit on the night.
And he does not have a left-handed move off the bench tonight, so the idea is to get ahead early.
The only hitter that hits right-handed in his lineup is Mariano Duncan. There's only one left-hander in the Marlins bullpen. That is Jeff Mutis. He pitched last night for 2/3 of an inning. Marlins haven't had a whole lot of lefties this year. Yorkie Perez was injured. He's a left-hander that came out of their bullpen.
He was throwing the ball great, too, when the Phillies saw them earlier this year. I'm sure they miss him.
There goes Thompson. The pitch is a called strike. The throw is in time. Santiago guns down Thompson for the first down here in the second.
Well, Benito Santiago came out firing on that one. That was a straight steal, it appeared. And well, look, well, you can't see here. Thompson got a pretty good jump, too. To watch him fire out, this is the way you throw. Oh, does he come out from behind that plate and throws a bullet down there, and Thompson has no chance. Santiago at one time was just so great to watch behind home plate, and it all went away for him for a while, but they say he's playing very well defensively again.
Yeah, you look at his percentages of base runners thrown out over the last couple of years, it has dwindled. He used to be in the 30s, even in the 40% range. And
well, he used to throw. Oops. They threw the ball out to Weathers, and he didn't see it, and it went over right over his head. He used to throw from his knees all the time, Todd, and they've got him away from doing that, evidently. Watch this.
Santiago's getting the first ball. Here comes the second ball. Look out. Vernando was ducking for his pitcher.
Bill Hahn threw that out there, and the pitcher was not looking.
In the dirt, 2-2. Bill Hahn behind home plate tonight. Jerry Davis, the first base umpire. Larry Vanover at second. And crew chief Jim Quick at third. Two and two the count on Tony Longmire, batting .212. See that percentage back over 30% this year.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And, you know, you're dealing with a knuckleball pitcher, too, which has to hurt your percentage.
That's a base hit into right center field. That was in on the hands of Longmire, and he fought it off nicely for the Phillies' third hit. He's there with one away.
That's a pretty good piece of hitting by Tony Longmire. As Todd said, it's in on the hands. And look, he didn't get his arms out at all. He literally fights that off and gets a base hit out of it.
Here's Kevin Stocker. Has that average up to .252. He's been batting a lot better as of late. He's coming off that injury. Last 9 games hitting at .310. Stocker is switch hitter. Longmire's only attempted 1 steal this year. He was successful.
Well, after seeing Santiago just throw out Milt Thompson, they're going to have him drop anchor here, you would think, unless they play hit and run. See, Weathers is kind of over-the-top sinker baller. A lot of times those guys get arm problems, too. And you hope it doesn't happen to him, but it's kind of an unnatural motion to be able to sink the ball that much with that kind of delivery. It's very herky-jerky and hard on the shoulder, hard on the elbow.
Ground ball towards second, could be 2. Barbary to Abbott. Abbott drops the ball, but they say he had it on the force and then lost it in a transfer. Longmire retired, but they should have had 2 on that play.
Yeah, that was close. That was close, and Vanover said he had exchanged it, that he had taken it out of the glove and was attempting to throw. Let's see. He never had control of that on that replay. If you look at it from another angle, I don't think he ever caught that ball. Watch right here. It's hard to tell. You can't tell from there, but I don't think he ever controlled that. I think the Marlins caught a little bit of a break on that one.
Here's Fernando Valenzuela's first at bat. The first pitch goes to the backstop. Oh, Kevin Stocker takes second base. Those are his lifetime numbers, and not bad numbers for a pitcher. 8 home runs, 202 average, and he hit 300 in his last season in the National League.
That's a great sign. Tommy wouldn't think so, but good sign.
Ground ball right side. Vernando gets Wood on it, but grounds it right to the first baseman, Colburn. And that does it for the Phillies here in the second. So a couple of hits, but no runs. We head to the third. It's 1-0 Phillies.
Bonds is the name. Barry Bonds. And he leads the Giants into town for a Mellon PSFS Business Person Special Wednesday, July 20th at 1:05. Catch some Rays, grab some good times. Call 463-1000.
You see what happens on this play. You have to control this ball and take it out. And watch how the shortstop, Abbott, never controls this ball. Hits right there. See, it's loose the whole time. It was loose the whole time. He never had control and reached in and took it out. So that's why Vanover, he called it an out, and that's the way it stands, but he might have missed that one.
Oh, Fernando, if he is to pick up a strikeout tonight, has a good candidate here. David Weathers, who has struck out 20 times this year in 33 at-bats. 1 ball and 1 strike. Weathers, the former Blue Jay. Not a very good hitter. Gets Wood on that ball. Sends it to Mickey Morandini. 1 away. Vernando so far has gone 2 1/3 innings. He's allowed 1 hit and 1 walk. And nobody's gotten past second base. A lot of excitement and anticipation tonight here at the Vet. But it may pale in comparison to Fernando's next start. When he goes to Chavez Ravine in Los Angeles.
Ain't no May involved.
The return of Fernando to Dodger Stadium and how that is mound opponent that night.
Orel Hershiser. Yeah, look forward to that on Sunday.
Orel Hershiser against Fernando. That's pretty much who had the baton passed to him. It kind of went from Fernando as the ace to Orel Hershiser as Dodgers ace. There's the ball ripped foul, 1-1.
The Los Angeles area has a very, very heavy Mexican population. So when Fernando pitched in Los Angeles back in those years, he was such a hero, and he handles himself so well. He was very good with the public. He would do appearances. There's Bill Giles, who always liked Fernando. Gets a breaking ball over there.
Tell you what, it'll be an emotional night for a lot of people in Los Angeles, in particular their Spanish broadcasters, Jaime Jarrín and René Cardenas, who really became close with Fernando. Jaime was his personal interpreter the first couple years in the big league. 1-2 pitch chest misses to Chuck Carr. It's 2-2.
I don't know what Carr was going to do with that. I mean, he ran across the plate. If he had swung at it, he's out and hit it fair. He's got that Gary Sheffield act going from the right side, as you see.
Pulls this one towards Mariano Duncan, who comes in and fires to gets past John Kruk. Should have been the second out.
And Kruk just dropped that. Should be an error on the first baseman. Here's Duncan. Throw a little bit low, but yep, he just missed it. Now you have a guy on there who'll think about running. Carr can steal some bases.
No, he's thinking running. Chuck Carr thinks about running in his dreams every night. That's his favorite part of the game, and he has stolen 20 this year. It's an error on John Kruk. So Carr, who has a nice sized lead on first, with 1 out, will have to be watched. Pitch is delivered to home, up high to Jerry Brown, 1-0. The rookie season when Jaime Jarrín served as his interpreter, Fernando won Rookie of the Year and the Cy Young Award. And tonight our Vintage Vision with Larry Rosen coming up after this half inning. We'll focus in on the 81 Fernando season. talked about that game when Phillies finally beat Vernando and all the excitement around L.A. Didn't Schmitty hit one off the right center field?
Hit it to right center. Marty Bystrom was a pitcher that night. I think the Phillies beat it. It was 5-0. We'll figure it out. Sellout crowd, of course, and he was 8-0 at the time. It's a pretty good 81 team the Phillies had. If it hadn't been for the strike that year, the Phillies had a heck of a chance to repeat.
Schmidt might have put up his best career numbers that year.
Yeah, that was a year of the 2-month strike that just killed the Phillies. They never had the continuity when they came back from that, and they were really good that year.
Well, after the Kruk error, Vernando has missed on 3 straight pitches. It's 3-0 to Jerry Brown, who popped up his first time up. There's a call, strike 3-1.
Looks like he's a little bit overly concerned with Chuck Carr, and he's gotten behind in the count now to Brown.
As opposed to earlier in his career, Vernando now speaks pretty fluent English, so no language barrier with the media or with his catcher. Carr is on the move. The pitch is a called strike. The throw is just a little bit to the third base side. And Chuck Carr has his 21st steal of the year.
Carr got a great jump there. He read Vernando perfectly, and Dalton has no chance with that jump.
So the count's full on Jerry Brown. Only 3 players in the league have more steals than Chuck Carr. Deion Sanders leading the National League with 31. Full count, pitch is fouled back. Fernando Valenzuela rubbing up the baseball, pitching with Jalisco as recently as Friday night. Signed with the Phillies as a free agent. Pop foul, out of play. How would you compare, if you could, the Mexican League to what the minor league levels are in the American United States baseball?
Oh, that's hard to say. You know, I mean, just what I've heard. AAA, you know, maybe slightly better in some areas.
A lot of guys who finish their careers end up going to the Mexican League.
No, I don't know. I mean, you've heard all kinds of people. I mean, Larry just told us. Larry just said high A ball. You know, it's all opinions. I really don't know much about the Mexican League. You don't find that many players that come out of the Mexican League and play in the major leagues.
Rich Renteria is one of the few who spent a lot of years in the Mexican League, led the league in hitting, and then later on in his career made it to the big leagues with the Florida Marlins. Matias Carrillo, also on this Marlins team, did the same. Well, Jerry Brown walked. That's the second walk issued by Valenzuela. And now he has some trouble. First and second, 1 out, and the dangerous Gary Sheffield at the plate. So the first real jam for Vernando to work out of. A little more deliberate with runners on, giving that head fake to Chuck Carr. And gets Gary Sheffield trying to hit one 500 feet.
Well, Sheffield doesn't ever take an easy swing. He has no stride, basically. He just kind of lifts that front foot and wails away. Sees how far he can hit him, and he can hit him real far, especially you get it middle into him.
Sheffield's been bothered by injuries this year. Bothered to the point where he actually talked about retirement. He still has a lot of years left if he wants to play. That's a cracked bat, shallow left field. Stocker out, Thompson in, long run, and it's a fair ball that falls in front of Milt Thompson. Bases are loaded with Marlins on that high pop-up that was right in between Stocker and Thompson.
Well, he really made a good pitch on Sheffield. That looked like a slider in. Thompson was playing really deep. Sheffield took that great big swing, and you're not going to find many outfielders get a good jump when Sheffield takes that kind of swing. Thompson does something really good here, though. He saw he was in trouble at the end, couldn't catch it, and all he tried to do was block it. and he did block it and keep it in front of him so that no run was able to score. So this inning is kind of a funky inning for Valenzuela. The error on the routine play in the infield, and then a walk, and then a ball that, was caught a lot of times. But he just found a perfect spot to Gary Sheffield, and now he's got bases loaded for Conine, a good hitter.
So the Phillies hoping to turn 2 here against Conine. Leading 1-0, top half of the third inning. Marlins have the bases loaded, as Wheel said, in a funky way. Error, walk, and bloop single. Conine flied to left his first time up and hit the ball well. Now Vernando and Darren Daulton having trouble agreeing on the signal. Conine steps away. He held off, says Jerry Davis. 1-0.
Conine, they're playing him to pull it a little more this year because he's turned into more of an RBI guy that pulls the ball. Last year, in his first year with the Marlins, he used to hit a lot of balls to right and right center. That's a very friendly homer ballpark in Florida if you pull the ball to left.
Inside to Conine, 2-0. Bases loaded, 1 out. We're in the third. With 1 out, John Kruk dropped the throw for Mariano Duncan around his ankles. When it is an error on Kruk, Carr then stole second base. A walk to Jerry Brown and a bloop fly ball off the bat of Gary Sheffield that found the open turf. Have the bases filled with Marlins and just 1 out. Valenzuela and Daulton having some trouble figuring out exactly how they want to attack Conine here. There are the standings coming into tonight's play. The Expos with a big win last night over the Braves. Phillies 9 games back, 1 game over 500. They've been at 500 9 separate times this year. And the Marlins have been on the skids as of late. 5 games below 500. They have lost 7 out of 8. Third, Brown on second, Sheffield on first. Valenzuela and Daulton have agreed on their pitch selection and are ready to go. 2-0 to Conine. Fouled it away, 2-1. Notice anything different about Fernando's style, or is it pretty much the same?
Well, the big difference is he's a lot shorter than he used to be with his fastball. I mean, that's the one thing you notice right away. But he still pitches the same way, or tries to, and that's in and out. He always was a guy that would not stay in the same area. And that's what made him so effective, because he could throw it where he wanted to. The hitter had a tough time guessing with Fernando Valenzuela. See, that he used to be able to, he would throw a 3-2-1 slider like that, he'd get it over. Or he'd get into a spot maybe where a hitter would swing at it and jam himself and hit into a double play, something like that. And he's made a lot of good pitches tonight early on. It's just that, he's involved in an inning now that really, hey, that's the way it goes. And he has to try and get out of it.
Now 3-1 on Conine. Center field, deep enough for the sacrifice fly with Chuck Carr tagging. This game is tied at 1 on the sacrifice fly by Jeff Conine, his team leading 57th RBI on the year.
Yeah, but they'll trade that.
Bill will trade the out for the run there, and it's 1-1, but now 2 outs in first and second.
He tied up Conine a little bit then, too, on a 3-1 pitch where Conine is thinking to really drive the ball in that situation.
So now Greg Colburn, the batter. He walked his first time up. to the corner of the Marlins dugout, 0-1.
Boy, people have to stay awake down there at third base tonight because Valenzuela is throwing that ball inside, and these hitters are way out front. There's our man Tony Irving down there running the third base camera. I don't think he even flinched. Man with nerves of steel.
0-1 on Colbert. Fouled it off. Got in on him. 0-2.
They're pitching inside a lot. I mean, for a guy that you think can't pitch in the major leagues, they really are pitching inside a lot and getting away with it. That was a yowie.
That hit him in the back thigh. Doesn't happen often.
Now see if they go away. When they came inside both times on Colbert, it might have him set up and pitching away.
Vernando, after he gets the sign, very deliberate. They do go away. This misses low, 1-2. Valenzuela thus far has allowed 2 base hits. He has walked 2. He has not struck out a batter. 7 of the 8 men retired have been pop-ups or flyouts. Jams him, punched over the mound towards first. Kruk needs help for Vernando and gets it.
Great baseball presence. He's always had that. I mean, that's a ball where a pitcher freezes, absolutely freezes. The second he saw he couldn't catch it, he ran to first base and he got it.
And he came out of his shoe and still made the play. So we're through 2.5, still tied at 1. Vernando comes out of his right shoe, but he finds the bag. Right now, we're going to take a look back 13 years ago. 1981 was the year, the remarkable rookie season of Vernando.
Listen to this crowd. Most of the folks on their feet now. Valenzuela delivers. What a way to start. Fernando Valenzuela in his first big league start pitches a shutout. And the little child shall lead them.
Vernando Mania, born opening day 1981, when Valenzuela was an emergency starter for the injured Jerry Royce. Fernando would win his first 8 starts as a Los Angeles Dodger, and in the heavily Spanish-influenced Southern California area, Fernando, then 20, was an immediate icon. Fernando's skyward glance in mid-motion became one of the most imitated idiosyncrasies in all of baseball. But it was the extraordinary talent, the screwball, the timing, and more that made Fernando the first player ever to win the Cy Young Award and the Rookie of the Year Award in the same season, that memorable summer of 1981.
1-1 ball game. We're through 2.5, heading to the bottom half of the third. Travel arranged through US Air, offering convenient nonstops between Philadelphia and Seattle. Making business travel easy, US Air begins with you.
What a play by Valenzuela. As soon as he saw he couldn't catch this ball, he has no other duty except to run to first base. He's there, and right there, Colbert steps on his shoe and takes the shoe off. But Valenzuela and Kruk team up on a big play there to get the Phillies out of the inning with just 1 run.
An unearned run at that. Fernando so far has gone 3 innings, allowed 2 hits, walked 2, and allowed the 1 unearned run as the Phils have the top of the order starting off here in the third. Mickey Morandini, who walked and scored the run of the game for the Phils, takes a call at strike. That right high, it's 1-1. Morandini has that average up to 295. Getting a chance to play on a more regular basis. Takes a call at strike 1-2. David Weathers, 24-year-old right-hander out of 5 Points, Tennessee. Popped up on the infield. Kurt Abbott, the shortstop, waits. 1 away.
Weathers pitched well tonight. He's been in some jams, but he's been able to get out of them for the most part, relying mostly on that real hard sinker ball.
Weathers, when he wins, has a lot of run support. Kind of as expected, but in his 7 wins, 40 runs scored for him. In his 6 losses, just 8 runs in those 6 losses. Starts off Mariano Duncan with a good slider, swinging a miss, 0-1. Duncan popped up his first time up. Inside, it's 1-1. Phillies and the Marlins wrap up their 3-game series tomorrow afternoon. 3rd of 6 business person specials. It's a 105 start. Ground ball towards short. Kurt Abbott catches the first one, makes the play to first for the second out of the inning. Tomorrow's pitching matchup: Pat Rapp against Danny Jackson. 105 start. Hope you can make it out. Should be a beautiful day. Compliments of Mellon TSFS. It's your last chance to see the Phils before the All-Star break as they head out to the West Coast for an 11-gamer. Here's John Kruk with 2 outs and nobody on. That's a called strike, 0-1. Kruk singled his first time up. He's now 5 for 7 lifetime against Weathers. And for the second straight at bat, Weathers ahead, 0-2.
Weathers has been giving the Marlins a lot of innings too. He's pitching 6-7 innings almost every time he goes out there. And that's all the manager wants out of a pitcher nowadays. If you can give him 6 or 7, especially 7, that really gets most managers to the guys that they want in their bullpen.
And the Phillies were really not sure what to expect from Vernando, so they were thrilled to get a complete game out of Sean Bosky last night, especially after the bullpen had been used over the weekend with Atlanta.
Well, they've gotten 3 out of Valenzuela tonight. However, he has to be close to 70 pitches. We had 50 up there. Seemed like a while ago. So, when he come out for the 66. So that's a lot of pitches for 3 innings. So you can't imagine going much more than 5 or 6.
After getting ahead 0-2, he's bounced a couple of pitches up there. It's now 2-2 on Kruk. Weathers has walked 1, he's allowed 3 hits, and he struck out 1. There's his second strikeout, getting Kruk on a good sinker. That'll do it for the Phils here in the 3rd. 1-2-3 inning for Weathers, his first in the ballgame. We head to the 4th. Gary Maddux joins Wheels next.
And back here at Veterans Stadium, Gary Maddux joins us. It's not too often that you can come in here and talk about a guy you faced.
Fernando, yeah, it's a lot different. I have some memories of him that aren't too pleasant. I mean, you go out there, when he first came up, I remember going into Los Angeles. I think he was like, what, 5-0 at the time? 8-0 when we went in there to face him. And that was just the beginning of a long struggle I had against him.
Sheffield hits one foul, third base side.
I don't think anybody owned him, but Schmidt hit him just as well as anybody.
Schmidt used to look for the ball away, and more times than not, at some point he'd get that screwball or fastball away, and he'd hit him the other way.
See, one of the problems Fernando is having is nobody knows him now to be afraid of his stuff. If I had to face him, I'd know he had this terrible screwball that's tough to hit, and he can jam you inside, and I'd give him too much credit. These guys don't know him, and they're just up there trying to hit what they see.
He's still pitching the same, though. He's using both sides of the plate, and he is pitching inside a lot. There goes to the backdoor breaking ball that looked like a strike, but was called a ball, and it's 2-2.
Yeah, the thing is, the only difference really is his lack of velocity, and it makes him have to be perfect when he goes out there. That's why you get concerned about him as the game goes on and as the season goes on. Maybe he won't have enough gas to get away with a mistake.
Foul down the third base line by Benito Santiago. Had a long at bat against Fernando his last time up, and Santiago finally popped up to short.
people here tonight to see Vernando make his debut here in Philadelphia. So he's giving them a good treat, I think.
Two balls and two strikes now on Santiago, Abbott, and Barbary. And he comes back inside and misses. And the count full of 3-2. Gave up an unearned run in the third inning. Phillies scored a run in the first. It's 1-1. We are in the top of the fourth. Breaking ball hammered on one hop to Duncan. Throws to Kruk. One away. There's Mariano Duncan doing a real good job playing third, and it's given Fregosi a chance to play the two young players in the middle.
Well, here's something you're familiar with. When no men are on base, how he throws those eyes up to the sky.
That's the same.
Nothing's changed. Except, like I said, that fastball. I mean, he just has to be perfect, and it has to be really fresh to go out there and do it now.
And he doesn't have anywhere near the bite on the screwball that he used to have. That screwball he used to throw you guys was hard.
Well, again, that's not having the arm strength that it takes to do that. And that's why you're going to see so many foul balls here tonight, is because guys can reach his pitches now. Even if they're out of the strike zone, they can still make contact. It's not the overpowering pitch that if you chase it out of the strike zone, you're going to miss it completely.
Yeah, we're talking about the fact that he just doesn't have the ability to really put hitters away necessarily with strikeouts. You saw his pitch count there. Now he comes inside. He always would do that, 1-2. That's kind of fun tonight. You know, you don't get many chances in this sport to take a little trip down memory lane with a great player like Fernando Valenzuela and watch him pitch again.
Well, I feel like I'm on deck.
He didn't lose in this park much either. Pop up right side, and Morandini's there, and he jammed another hitter, 2 outs.
See, that's exactly what Fernando did, even when he was at his best. His best pitch was the screwball, so you went up there and you looked for the screwball. And if he thought you were looking for it, he'd come inside just like that, and sure enough, he'd tie you up. That's what I'm saying. Early in the game, early in the year, he has the ability still to get in there on these guys. But as the game progresses and he runs out of gas, those balls they'll turn on and hit a long way.
Barbary hit a fly ball to Longmire in right field his first time up. 2 outs and nobody on base. And strike one call. He's been ahead of the hitters in this inning.
Seeing that breaking ball, if he starts it outside, you used to seeing that ball away be a screwball, so you give up early on it. And that ball comes back and catches the outside corner.
To Duncan on one hop, bobbles, picks it up, still has time. Got it. 3 up and 3 down in the fourth inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. 3.5, 1-1.
Fireworks on the field and after the game when the Dodgers come to town. Thursday and Friday, July 14th and 15th at 7:35. When the games end, the stadium fills with thrilling music. The skies explode with breathtaking color. The Dodger series continues Saturday the 16th at 8:05 and Sunday the 17th at 1:35 when it's a free Lenny Dykstra t-shirt for kids 14 and under. Fireworks, 4 Kings against LA. Call 463-1000.
Come back here at Veterans Stadium. Chris Wheeler with Gary Maddux and Todd Kalas. There's your score. We'd like to remind you that our old friend Maxie Patkin, the Clown Prince of Baseball, will be featured on the Larry King Bulletin TV show tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. Maxie and Stan Hockman have a book out about Max's life, the Clown Prince of Baseball.
You say Larry King, or?
That's Larry Kane.
Oh, okay.
Grounded the second. Barbary, a quick release, gets Darren Dalton. I think I heard Larry King here the other night on this telecast.
You know, on Saturday, I thought, Max said Larry King. I'm glad we got it straight. Well, tomorrow night, get a chance to watch Max Packett.
Here's Jim Eisenreich, a strikeout victim in the first inning. David Weathers continuing to show why he's pitched well for the Marlins this year. Good hard sinker. Mixing in a slider. There's a breaking ball, a good one, over for a strike. No balls and 1 strike on Eisenreich, followed by Milt Thompson.
So you got a guy like Eisenreich, you got a guy like Duncan on your team. You got 2 very valuable utility players.
Fly ball deep center field. Carr can go get him. Back he goes, and he ran it down. Oh, he had a snow cone. And held on. 2 outs. Chucky Carr can go get the baseball.
Speed, and more speed. He ran under that ball very nice. It started to come back towards right field on him a little bit. You see right there, Now he cuts back over, so it's come back over his head. Overran a little bit, a little snow cone action there. See, when you have to reach like that the last second, his heel, you see how his heel hits the ground and that jars your vision. He got it in there and held on to it, so it's a good play.
That thing hit every part of his glove. Here's Milt Thompson, 1 for 1 with a base hit. So Carr makes a fine play on Eisenreich.
Yeah, you got to get back there in a hurry. Stick out the flaps to slow you down.
Yeah, and plus he had to reach up over his head. He might have lost his vision a little bit on that. Looks like a 1-2-3 inning for Weathers. It is 3 up and 3 down go the Phils in the 4th. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. A 1-1 game through 4.
Budweiser welcomes you to the Voodoo Lounge. Stones Voodoo Lounge Tour live. Only one band is rock and roll, and only one beer can bring it to you. Budweiser, King of Beers.
Dave Weathers leads it off, and the pitcher hits it foul out of play down the left field line. Weathers is 0 for 1 and 2 for 34 in the year with 20 strikeouts. There's a couple more of Gary's friends getting engaged here tonight.
I told me they're coming out. That's Joe and Kelly.
Yeah, a lot of people get engaged out here, you know. Foul the other way down the line.
She really said no, and she just promised not to embarrass him on the air with his friends.
Weathers hit a ground ball to second his first time up. Vernando gets a strikeout. And he gets it on Weathers, who is a strikeout machine. He has now struck out for the 21st time this year. Well, the Phillies are gone for the 4th of July this year, but that doesn't mean we're not going to have some great fireworks around here. How about on Thursday and Friday, July 14th and 15th, the Dodgers are here. The fireworks begin at 7, or the games begin at 7:35. Fireworks after the ball games. Compliments of Mellon PSFS. That's a great night. So call 463-1000 for your tickets, or stop by Mellon PSFS, Broad and Chestnut Streets.
That's Kelly there. She's taking a picture of herself.
Taking a picture of that bulb on her hand. Carr breaks his bat and gets a base hit to left field. In the hole, the left fielder by Thompson, who gets it back in. So Chuck Carr is on for the second time in the game. He lived on an error by Kruk last time, stole a base, and then scored a run.
Well, here it is, another one for Fernando's wood pile. Gets in on Chucky Carr there, but he still gets enough of it. So you're going to make contact against Fernando, and that's why it's imperative that you play good defense behind him. He's going to let the guys put it in play, and when they hit the ball to you, you got to be prepared to make it. And he also helps himself by, he'll work quickly, too.
What was he like as far as holding runners on?
Oh, not his strong suit, but heck, not too many got on there to worry about it.
You know he's a good fielder. He always fielded the ball at the middle well, and he made a terrific play covering first on that little humpback liner down in the inning.
He didn't have one of those deceptive moves over there, but he could, speed it up a little bit, try and keep you close, give you a fake. A lot of those left-handers are effective because they give you all kinds of looks before they go to the plate. No move to first base, but a lot of looks that keep you either flat-footed or leaning back the other way.
See that on the Marlins have a pretty good record. When Chuck Carr scores a run, he has scored 1 run in this game. He has scored their only run. There's a quick release to the plate, and he gets it over to Jerry Brown, who has popped up foul and walked. It's 0-1.
Boy, I tell you, not only was there an error on John Kruk in that play, but there was a gap in the outfield, between Milt Thompson and Kevin Stocker, a ball that either one of those guys could have caught, and it ended up falling in for a single for Sheffield that got Carr to third base.
Where he scored on Conine sacrifice fly. It's a 1-1 ball game here in the 5th inning. Chuck Carr led the National League in stolen bases last year with 58. He now has 21.
I'm sure Fernando's working on 3 days rest here. But anyway, this is a good team for him to come up against. Florida, they're a young ball club. They can be pitched to. It's a good team for him to come in and get his feet wet against.
Carr has already stolen the base tonight, so Valenzuela is aware of that and continues to throw over there. Chuck Carr Longmire with a good lead. Popped him up. Shallow center field. Stocker back. Here comes Eisenreich. Jim all the way. Makes the play. 2 outs. And Chuck Carr, who got full on that then, was on his way back to first on the deceptive move to the plate by Valenzuela. We're having a little trouble with Gary Lee's mic right now, and we're working on that to get it corrected, and we'll get him back on the air shortly. Here's Gary Sheffield, who is 1 for 2. He has flied out to right, single to left. Sheffield with 15 home runs and 40 runs batted in. Outside, ball 1. You back?
Yeah, I'm
All right, good. I missed you.
That headset a little twisted on that. But Chris, you made a good point that see, it was a deceptive delivery to home plate that got Carr fooled. And with that big lead right there, it's easy to fool a guy like that. He's so far off that if you give him a good deke, you know, he'll lean back the other way.
He does not go in Sheffield. Look out, folks. There have been some nasty fouls hit down that third baseline tonight.
And that's a good sign for Valenzuela. When you are going to be concerned about Valenzuela, when those guys decide to start going the other way against him, then they're going to have something working. But he'll throw you that off-speed stuff inside and let you pull it a mile. Foul.
Those hoo-ah balls. 1 ball, 1 strike to Sheffield. Waggles that bat. Breaks his bat and loops it to left field. That's going to be another hit. Carr speeds around the third. Eisenreich gets it back into second. He's broken 2 bats in this inning.
Yeah, he got way inside there to Sheffield again. And just like in his first at bat, when they take a big swing, you know, your first move as an outfielder is generally back. That's a full swing from a power hitter like Sheffield. And that ball just falls in untouched.
So there are 2 on and 2 outs for Conine. He lined out to Thompson his first time up and then hit a sacrifice fly to center field. 1 run, 4 hits, no errors for Florida. 1 run, 3 hits, 1 error. The Phillies in the top of the 5th inning. Business person special tomorrow afternoon. We'll see you out here at 1 o'clock. Andy Jackson for the Phillies. Conine pops it up. It's playable. Thompson coming in. Waits. And that'll do it for the Marlins here in the 5th inning. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and Fernando Valenzuela strands 2 more. It's 1-1. Well, those blue caps that the fans like so much, and the players, well, you know, will be given away on Sunday, July the 24th at 1:35. The Padres are in town. It's that special Phillies blue cap, the one they wear for the business person special. You'll see it out here tomorrow. It's free for all kids 14 and under. Compliments of Gatorade. This cap has become quite the collector's item, quite the controversial cap. So make your plans to come on out early. Call 463-1000 or stop by the Vet Stadium ticket off Sunday, July 24th. Phillies and the Padres. Tony Longmire hits Weathers' first pitch high in the air to left field. Conine right there puts it away, and Longmire is now 1 for 2, 1 out here in the 5th.
This Weathers guy, he reminds me a little bit of Rick Russell, you know? Hard sinker. Right, that's how Rick used to pitch, and he'll take something off of it, too, and bust you.
Good-looking young pitcher.
Very.
He's 24 years of age, 6'3", 205 pounds, a Tennessee native. Just 10-9 lifetime in the big leagues. 7-6 this year out of the Toronto Blue Jays organization.
Boy, I tell you, it's easy to relax when you got somebody like Valenzuela taking all the heat. You know, there's so much going on around that you're allowed just to sneak right on in there and do your thing.
Kevin Stocker, the batter. There's Fernando on deck. He will bat next. 1 out and nobody on base.
You know, I had the luxury of doing that when I first came to Philadelphia. It was also the time Crash Allen came back to town for his second trip in town. So I was able to just slip on through while he took all the heat.
He got a little publicity for that. Stocker gets jammed, grounds it towards second. Barbary gobbles it up, throws him out, 2 down. And Fernando Valenzuela comes to home plate, lugging a Tommy Green model bat. ground ball to first his first time up. Good crowd here tonight on a beautiful night for baseball. Hits it hard down the line. It takes a bad hop and will head for the corner. Fernando around first. He will post into second with a stand-up double. He smoked that ball.
He's a good hitter. Always has been. Helps himself with the bat. And now a little spark here that the Phillies could use. I mean, Weathers has kind of put these guys to sleep. Fernando's going to show them the way, both pitching and with the bat. On the end of it, look at that.
What a cutout.
Yeah, and then took off. He hit that ball good.
Fernando Valenzuela, that's his 23rd lifetime double. He has a triple, 8 homers, and 72 runs batted in. Not a bad hitter, is right. And Morandini to batter. Mickey grounds it to second. Barbary has it, throws him out, and that'll do it. In the inning for the Phillies, no runs. 1 hit, the double by Valenzuela. No runs, and they strand Fernando. After 5, we're tied at 1. Matty Dykster second in the All-Star voting now among All-Stars. Center All-Star outfielders, and don't forget the Dude T-shirt in his honor is coming up on Sunday, July the 17th, 1:35. When the Phillies play the Dodgers, a great new gift for children 14 and under. This is a T-shirt printed to look like a uniform shirt with the number 4 and Dykster's name on the back. Compliment of Modell's Sporting Goods. Fanatic having a little fun there with Chuck Carr's uniform. Call 463-1000 or stop by any one of the local Ticketmaster outlets. Here's Chuck Carr laughing at the Fanatic beating on his uniform. And we go to the 6th inning. Almost identical totals, 1-4-0 Marlins, 1-4-1 Phillies. Greg Colburn, the batter, he has walked and grounded out on a fine hookup between Kruk and Valenzuela. And the pitch is down low, ball 1. Colburn, a strong right-handed batter. Rips another one fouling out of play down the left field line. That's that pitch you're talking about.
Well, that's about the 10th one I've seen hit over there, and that's the closest one that's been fair. That's the closest one to being fair right there.
Great area to catch a foul ball tonight as you look at Fernando's line through 5.
You know, and when he throws that ball in there, you can open up. See, it's not so hard that it's going to jam you, but the guys are opening up and then bringing their hands through and pulling the ball foul like that.
Colburn, Santiago, and Abbott, all right-handed batters. Hit weekly foul third base side. The fans better stay loose down there tonight.
Cookie Rojas, the third base coach, already has been nailed, so you know those fans better look out.
Cookie's been doing some dances down there.
And Cookie could pick it.
Oh, yeah, Cookie's a good player. Tries to go the other way with it. Morandini hasn't played perfectly. Mickey throws out Colburn. 1 out here in the 6th. And that'll bring up Santiago, who has popped to short and grounded to third.
You see, here's Darren's location. After working him in and getting all those foul balls down the left field line, now he goes away. And at the last second, the batter sees it, sticks his bat out there, and it's a routine ground ball to second base. They're obviously not looking out there. Valenzuela, as long as they're going to chase that ball way inside, he's going to keep featuring it in there.
Goes a fastball away and misses, ball 1. Mighty the Minors is coming up with Larry Rosen, so stay tuned after this half inning, as he will have another one of his always interesting features. Breaking ball down and in, bounces away from Dalton, and it's 2-0 now to Santiago.
See, when he makes a mistake, it's down. You know, that wasn't a curveball. He didn't throw it high and hope it drops over the strike zone. He starts it out in the strike zone and lets it fall out. Just a fine pitch.
There's another one. And Duncan couldn't quite get to that one, and it threw for a base hit.
That ball not hit well. Duncan not a good read off the bat. But that ball should have, could very easily have been caught.
Yeah, it didn't look like he had a good jump on it.
No, again, when those guys hit that big swing, it really throws the fielders off. They quick swing there, but he actually got jammed and it goes right under Mark. He just kind of looks like he wants to reach for it and picks up a little overspin and gets right by him.
Santiago, a one-out base runner for Kurt Abbott, the shortstop. Inside, ball one. Abbott's had a good season for these Marlins with 7 home runs, 23 runs batted, and he had a stretch of 4 consecutive games in which he's homered.
You know, I think we really have to look for Valenzuela as far as getting tired. I mean, any pitcher, when they get tired, they're going to start to get that ball up, and they're going to lose a little bit of their velocity. So I think we're going to, and there's his totals right there, 100 pitches at the end of 5 innings, or 4 2/3.
5 1/3.
5 1/3.
6, yeah. But at least they're continuing to hit them foul. I will not get on to you about that. That's you on me.
I'm sorry, man.
That's all right. Hey, it happens. There's another jammer. Thompson got a good jump on this one. He's there, makes the play. Tell you what, when you go back over the chart on Fernando Valenzuela tonight, most of his outs are in balls where he's gotten in on people.
Oh, there's no question, and most of them are fly balls. These guys are getting jammed and hitting fly balls. And you mess around, the next thing you know, the game will be over, and you'll be talking about, oh, he didn't have anything.
Barbary, the batter, switch hitter.
What's he have, 1 strikeout? I think he struck out Weathers, right?
1 strikeout. He struck out the pitcher. 2 walks and 1 strikeout. Barbary batting in the 8th hole. Has flied to right and grounded to Duncan at 3rd. 2 outs and Santiago at first base. Santiago, not a guy who's going to run very much. He's 1 out of 3 this year in stolen base attempts.
You know, Vernando, I mean, he's almost gotten us to where we're looking for him to pitch inside now. He's gotten away completely. He's established that screwball enough to have guys looking for it already. And that's how he's able to bust them inside now.
There he comes in there again with a called strike on a slider.
And early on, he established that he could throw that screwball. Guys had heard about it, and they start to look for the ball away, and here he comes inside.
Facing an entirely right-handed hitting lineup tonight. And the Phillies have left-handed hitters with the exception of Duncan in their lineup. Goes outside and misses 1-1. Couple of old San Diego Padres right there, Kruk and Santiago. 1 ball and 1 strike. On Barbary. Jammed him, looped it into center, base hit. So they have 2 on again, and David Weathers, the pitcher, will bat as Barbary stops at 2nd. Another pitch in. Amazing. Then you think about left-handed pitchers, and they just pitch away for the most part. Weathers is 0 for 2 with a ground out and the 1 strikeout that Valenzuela has recorded this evening.
Well, you know, things are going to get a little tougher for Valenzuela. The tougher their teams are he faced. There's no question he's going to face guys that are more disciplined at the plate and who are going to make you throw that ball for a strike and who are going to have a good idea about how to hit it. And that's going to happen.
But missed with a screwball there to Weathers. 1 ball, no strikes. Chuck Carr on deck. He can see his way out here facing the pitcher. Grounded weakly to 3rd. Duncan will just step on 3rd base. That'll do it for the Florida Marlins here in the 6th inning. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base. Time now for Mining the Minors as Larry Rosen visits with a man whose playing career has surprisingly been reborn. Greg Legg.
Back in 1986, Greg Legg had high hopes for a lengthy Major League career, but he spent much of the last decade at AAA. This spring, though, he was offered a chance to coach with the Phillies in Clearwater and accepted, until a rash of injuries had Greg right back at the hot corner at Lackawanna County Stadium. And at 34, he's not having a bad summer either.
They had said something about the fact that I might play this year in Reading or here, so they signed me as a player coach, probably more as a favor to me financially wise. You know, I think I would make more as a player coach than I would as a coach. Thanks for the favor. They, you know, and I didn't know. I really didn't expect to play, and I finally accepted the fact that I'm not going to be a player. And about the time I got over all the, you know, God, I wish I could hit. I didn't even want to pick up a bat anymore. Is when Dale called me and told me, he says, "Well, I want you in Charlotte tomorrow." And now I'm playing a little bit here and there, and I'm playing again.
Well, here we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Good ball game here tonight. Fernando Valenzuela and Dave Weathers in a 1-1 game. Have to think that man's a little tired.
What a competitor, though.
Oh, he always was a great competitor. I mean, he used to talk about his heart. And, you know, if you wanted a big game pitch in the 80s, especially the early 80s, you probably would have wanted to give that guy the ball.
Oh. You know, I wouldn't mind giving it to Carlton. I wouldn't mind giving it to Valenzuela. You know, guys like that.
Well, Slocumb is getting up. Valenzuela has thrown over 100 pitches in 6 innings. They were hoping to get 5 or 6 out of him tonight. They've gotten 6 strong innings from him.
What I tell you before the game,
You said he was going to pitch 6 innings. You're on record. Duncan crushed Dalton to face Dave Weathers, who has pitched a very good game quietly himself tonight. As Gary said, nobody's really paying much attention to Weathers, and he's done exactly what he's been doing for the Marlins a lot this year, and that's keeping them in the game.
a little nifty 4-hitter he has going.
Duncan, the only right-handed batter in the Phillies lineup, takes a strike. He has popped up to second and grounded to shortstop. Phillies had Weathers in a little trouble in the first 2 innings, but since then, since the 2nd inning, he has only surrendered a 2-out double to Valenzuela.
Well, you got to give that Florida organization a lot of credit. I mean, Colorado as well. I mean, these guys took advantage of you know, what was available for them to have.
They took advantage of the new expansion rules. But, you know, they paid a lot of money to get in, so they changed the rules. They could draft from both leagues, and they could sign free agents. And they became competitive a lot faster.
Yep.
Grounded hard in the hole on a base hit from Mariano Duncan. Hit number 5 for the Phillies. They get their leadoff man on here in the 6th inning for John Kruk.
There's a ball Weathers got up in the strike zone. He's definitely trying to get that ball down, but it's up, and Duncan make a mistake on Duncan, he'll let you know.
Weathers getting a lot of ground balls tonight. That is his forte, the sinker ball. Slocumb continues throwing the bullpen, and it leads you to believe that Valenzuela is finished for the evening. And Kruk, the batter, John singled to center his first time up, and then struck out in the 3rd. The Marlins have a 7-man bullpen and only 6 extra men off the bench. So they can make a lot of pitching changes if they decide to start using the pen as Duncan leads off first. Phillies have 5 players in the bullpen. Jim Fregosi eventually would like to go to an 11-man pitching staff, and Larry Anderson is starting to come along, and when he's ready to come back, they want to put him on the roster.
But again, I mean, for the Phillies this season, one of the keys has to be Duncan.
He's an all-star. Well, that's a perfect. He's going to make the all-star team, and he's played like an all-star.
And what he allows you to do, the ability he gives you, the flexibility that he gives you. I mean, he can go in, he can play second base, and he can give you a chance to let the third baseman play. But if somebody's struggling, he can go in and allow you to play that person.
2-0 to Kruk, trying to make him bring the center ball up.
You know, that person that you want to give an opportunity to play, Mariano Duncan allows you to do that because he can go in so many places to fill in. You can set so many guys down, and you can get the hot guy or a fresh bat in the lineup.
Well, he's never played third before, and they said, "Will you play third?" And he's playing it for him.
And it's giving Morandini a chance to play now. That's what I'm saying. You get a guy that probably otherwise wouldn't have a chance to play. You can move Duncan over to third base, and now Morandini gets a shot.
Kruk with a big swing and a miss there, and the count on John is 2-1. He takes a long look at Boa. The Phillies have been playing a lot of hit and run lately. And a sinker ball pitcher's not a bad guy to play hit and run with and stay out of a double play that way. The only problem is you got that rifle behind home plate if the hitter swings through the pitch.
I mean, I think hit and run, John Kruk's a guy you can almost be assured of. If he wants to put it in play, he should be able to do that. Ooh. Duncan jammed his ankle when he went back into the bag. Foot gets there before he's ready and jams it right there. Oh, man. You know what happens? You hit your heel, and that really... Watch, you see there? See his heel hits it. Turns his ankle. You can see the weight just take it.
And you see the instincts are, well, let's get that other foot on the bag. And Colburn did not follow him with the tag, and so there was no play.
We look right now, we see one of the advantages of high-top shoes.
Phillies are off on a long road trip after tomorrow's game. We'll be back at you July 14th when local guy right there, Mike Piazza and the Dodgers come to town. Larry Rosen at 7 and then the ball game at 7:30. There he goes. And Kruk hits it up the middle. Barbary has it. He'll throw out Kruk, but there's that hit and run there. And you stay out of a double play with the runner going.
Yeah, well, we knew John Kruk would put it in play.
Pretty good play by Barbary. It was right.
It was. Falls up a little bit. Shortstop covering, but Barbary does a good job of getting over there to make that play.
Phillies 1-run score tonight when the Marlins might have been able to turn a double play, but they were thinking about tagging Kruk coming in and just hesitated a little bit, and Dalton beat it out, and the rest of Phillies 1 run.
Exactly, and that was Barbary at that time. At second base, it was a ground ball to him, and he tried to look at the runner at the last second. He flipped to second and over to first. It was too late for the double play.
Darren Dalton, who knocked in the Phillies 1 run on that infield out in the first inning for Dutchess. 56th run batted in.
Darren's pretty high.
He's currently third in the All-Star voting. You believe that?
No.
Piazza, yeah, but Manwaring is second, and Dalton is third.
Well, that's a good thing about having your manager to manage the team. I mean, what better way to pay back one of your players who busted it for you the whole year?
There's Darren Dalton in the first half of 93, and in the first half of 94, not that big a difference.
I was teasing him about finally getting up to 300, and then he fell back under. He said, yeah, I'm afraid of heights.
Yeah.
He was up too high.
Checks on a sinker ball, and it's low. 3 balls and no strikes to Dutch, who takes a long look at Larry Boa to see if he has a green light, which he probably does.
He probably does, and they'd be crazy to challenge him.
See if he can get Weathers to bring the ball up. Duncan leads off second. Strike call on the outside corner. 3-1. Eisenreich on deck. Up the middle, nice play by Weathers. Duncan gets to third as Weathers throws over to first and throws out Dalton 2 away.
That was interesting. Duncan went on contact. Weathers got the ball and turned and thought about it, but took the short out at first base. This was an off-speed pitch, got Darren out front. And he just hits it right back to the mound. You see Weathers turn right there. Settles on the safe out at first.
And the game's still 1-1 with 2 outs now. It's up to Eisenreich. Jim has struck out and hit a deep fly ball to center, in which Chuck Carr made a nice running catch.
That was a big play to not throw over there, actually. I think just falling towards first base, made Weathers think twice about throwing off balance over to third base, and that's why Duncan was able to get over there.
There's Duncan. Phillies would like to get him home, take the lead, and give Fernando Valenzuela a chance to win this game because he appears to be finished for the evening.
Well, I tell you, Darren Dalton 3-1. You want to get a better swing than that.
Fouled away again by Eisenreich, left side, upper deck.
You give Weathers a little credit, but he got Darren Dalton 3-1 to chase a pitch that was he was a little bit out in front of.
No balls and 2 strikes now on Eisenreich. Mariano Duncan 90 feet away from giving the Phillies a lead. Eisenreich checks on a breaking ball, and it's 1-2. There's Jeff Mutis from Allentown, Lafayette College guy, and the one left-hander in their bullpen starts to loosen. He was in the game last night. Eisenreich to left field to right at Conine, and he puts it away, and the Phils are going in the 6th inning. We'll see Gary in a few weeks back here on PRISM. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left. Through 6, we're all tied up. We are heading to the 7th inning, all tied up, 1-1. Phils with an early run, Marlins with a run in the 3rd. Phillies go with a double switch now. Billy Hatcher in center field, he will bat 9th. As Fernando Valenzuela is finished for the evening. And the new pitcher for the Phillies, there are the numbers on Heathcliff Slocumb. He will bat in the 5 hole. Chuck Carr leads it off for the Marlins in the 7th inning. And back for play-by-play, here's Todd Kalas.
Thank you, Wheels. Fernando Valenzuela giving the Phillies everything they could have hoped for. It's 6 innings worth of work, only allowing 1 run, and it was unearned at that. So Heathcliff Slocumb takes over as the Marlins were coming through the lineup for the 4th time, and Fernando with 106 pitches so far. Probably a good move right here by Jimmy Fregosi. He got everything he wanted out of the veteran left-hander, and now he gets him out. It was a no decision, but a very strong no decision at that. Chuck Carr takes inside. It's 1-1. Carr, switch hitter, batting left-handed against Slocumb. Against Valenzuela, he was 1 for 3, reached base on an error. As you see Mariano Duncan looking for the potential punt. Slocumb misses low. It's 2-1. Carr reached on an error, stole a base in the 3rd, and scored the Marlins' only run. The only run allowed by Valenzuela, so he has a perfect ERA of 0.00. John Krut with the easy ground. 1 out here in the 7th. Valenzuela also did the job with the leadoff hitters tonight. He did not allow 1 leadoff hitter to reach base. And now Slocumb continues that trend here in the 7th. 1 out, nobody on. That'll bring up Jerry Brown. Brown walked in the 3rd. He's also popped up and flied out. Of the 18 outs recorded by Valenzuela, 11 flyouts, 6 groundouts, and he struck out 1, the pitcher David Weathers. Final line on Fernando's 6 innings, 6 hits, 1 run unearned, 2 walks, 1 strikeout, and a no decision. That's right down the middle. It's 2-1. Slocumb among the league leaders in appearances. Appearing in game number 38. Only Jose Bautista of the Cubs, John DeHavian of the Cardinals, and Steve Reed of the Rockies have appeared in more games. 2 outs. Beautiful night here at the vet, and a great crowd on hand watching Fernando's debut. We are in the top of the 7th of a 1-1 ball game. Florida with 6 singles against Valenzuela.
I think the people that came here tonight to watch Valenzuela got a good show. He gave him 6 innings and hit a double.
It was almost everything you could have hoped for. I mean, you can see he's not the same pitcher he used to be velocity-wise, but sometimes all that matters is how many runs are put up on the board.
Well, I think the thing that was impressive tonight was the way he pitched inside so much, and they kept yanking everything foul into the seats, and then he would jam a lot here. Many of the hits for the Marlins tonight were jammers.
Sheffield had a couple of them, and he grounds one towards short. Stocker has the play. Over to first, and a 1-2-3 inning for Heathcliff Slocumb facing the top of the Marlins order. 7th inning stretch time at the vet, tied at 1. Bottom half of the 7th inning, Milt Thompson takes a strike, 0-1. We're all tied at 1 as we head to the bottom of the 7th. Thompson 1 for 2 on the night.
Nice job by Dave Weathers, Todd. As we mentioned, he pitches 6 and 7 innings for the Marlins quite a bit, and he's doing it again tonight. He jammed Thompson there.
Broken backgrounder. No problem for Colburn. 1 away here in the 7th. Coming up on July the 20th, after the All-Star break, it's Business Person Special number 4. Another extremely popular way to come to watch the Phillies during the middle of the week. Compliments of Mellon PSFS, so just call 463-1000 to order your tickets or stop by the Center City ticket office at Mellon PSFS, located at Broad and Chestnut. That game on July 20th is against the San Francisco Giants. Here's Tony Longmire. He's also 1 for 2, singled and fly to left. Weathers, since the 2nd inning, has allowed just 2 base runners. A double by Valenzuela with 2 outs in the 5th, and a single by Mariano Duncan to lead off the last inning.
He's basically a 2-pitch pitcher, too. He's a good hard sinker ball and slider, occasional changeup. But for the most part, he has relied on that sinker tonight, and he has been very, very effective. He's had a lot of the hitters hitting the ball into the dirt.
He's retired 15 out of 17. The 2-0 pitch to Longmire, ground ball in the hole. That's a base hit. Hit number 6 for the Phillies, and 2 on the night for Tony Longmire.
I don't think you'll ever meet a sinker ball that would like to pitch on turf either. And, you know, the Phillies have not even bounced that many balls through. They bounced one through here by Tony Longmire. Sinker ballers throwing all those ground balls would much rather pitch on a grass and dirt surface than on turf where those balls will hop through on it.
I'll bring up Kevin Stocker. He's hit the ball on the ground twice tonight. Grounded into a fielder's choice in the 2nd and grounded out to 2nd his last time up. Both teams with 6 hits, both teams with 1 run. Good crowd on hand trying to rev up the Phillies here in the bottom half of the 7th. Phils are 3-1 on their current homestand, which wraps up tomorrow afternoon. The final homestand of the first half of the season, if you will, with the All-Star break serving as the midway point. A little bit outside for a ball, 1-0. Another thing Weathers has done that started out getting behind hitters, but since that first, he's really stayed ahead and right around the plate.
And he has to, because a sinker ball pitcher, when he gets behind and it has to come up a little bit, that's when they really get hurt. So if you can get strike 1 and then go down a little lower after that, you're in pretty good shape. And that's what he's been doing tonight. Rick Russell was really good. Gary compared Weathers a little bit to Russell tonight because of his hard sinker, and Russell was good at that. He'd start the first one at the knees, and then he'd keep going down and get hitters out.
Billy Hatcher, who came on in a double switch in the top half of the inning, is on deck. Fouled away, it's 1-1 to Stocker. Jeff Mutis, who was warming up in the last inning, is loosening again here in the 7th. Weathers threw a lot of pitches early in this ball game. That pitch total has dropped somewhat since the first couple, but still building. 87 pitches to this point, so his average pitches per inning after throwing close to 30, if not more, in that first inning has been pretty solid since. Another throw to first. He threw 28 pitches, we find out, in the first. So since then, 59 pitches the last 5 1/3. That's pretty efficient baseball. Line drive, base hit, center field. Phils have a couple aboard with 1 out as Kevin Stocker lines 1 to center.
Another thing about a sinker baller is you want to approach him without trying to drive the ball necessarily, and that's what Stocker does there. Ball out and away from him, and he just strokes it into left center field for a base hit.
Frank Rehberger, the pitching coach, formerly their bullpen coach, Marcel Latchman, going over to the American League to manage the California Angels. Rieberger taking over as the pitching coach. He'll have a visit with his starter David Weathers, who after allowing just 2 hits over the last 4 innings, now has allowed back-to-back singles.
Well, Weathers has the equipment to stay in games a little longer maybe than other pitchers, even when they get tired, because of the fact that his ball goes down and he can still get a ground ball, possibly get a double play and get himself out of it.
PRISM summer movie season rolls on this weekend with the premiere of Arnold Schwarzenegger in Last Action Hero and Chuck Norris and the Family Adventure Sidekicks. Just 2 of the many great movies coming your way this summer on PRISM. 2 on with 1 out, and Billy Hatcher steps up for the first time tonight. Hatcher batting at .260 on the year with the Phils, including a couple of home runs and 5 RBIs. First pitch is a slider outside and low, 1-0. One of the few right-handers Weathers has faced tonight. 1 for 3 against Duncan. Duncan rather is 1 for 3 against him. His first time he's facing Hatcher. That's a called strike, 1-1. Couple of back-to-back singles with 1 out as the Phillies in a scoring threat here in the bottom of the 7th. Good fastball on the inside corner, 1-2. Into right field. Sheffield over, and being held at third is Longmire. The throw getting back in quickly. Nice play by the third baseman turned right fielder to cut off that ball in a hurry, and now the bases are full with 1 away.
Nice approach too by Hatcher on the slider. The ball away from him. Look what he does with it. Just goes away and hits it into right field. Todd said that's a nice play by Sheffield. He cut it off nicely, and with nobody out, Boa cannot score him there. And here comes Rene Latchman. You mentioned they have a lot of pitchers in that bullpen. They have 1 left-hander. He's up, Jeff Mutis, and with Morandini up in a game situation, he's going to make a change.
So the manager will take Weathers out of this tie game, but the bases are loaded with 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th. Mickey Morandini is due up, and he'll face the new pitcher, left-hander Jeff Mutis. Back with more after this.
The Phillies will be out to stop Glenn Wynn, and they have a gift that will make your head spin when the Padres come to town for a big Fly Night doubleheader. Friday, July 22nd at 5:05, Saturday the 23rd at 7:05, and Sunday the 24th at 1:35 when kids 14 and under get a blue Phillies cap free. Heads up, hats on, our Padres who are at the vet. Order your tickets now. Call 463-1000.
For the 7th inning, the new pitcher is Jeff Mutis, taking over for David Weathers, who is not real thrilled with himself right now, having allowed 3 consecutive singles, but a nice job by the starter who has done that job all year, going 6-7 innings, keeping his team in the game. And now it's up to the left-hander Mutis, who comes on here to face the left-hand hitting Mickey Morandini. Mutis does not have a record this year, appearing in his 23rd game. 5.32 ERA.
A lot of hits, 33 hits in 22 innings. Phillies have seen him a few times. Mickey Morandini off Mutis is 0 for 1.
Mutis was purchased from the Edmonton team, the AAA team of the Florida Marlins on April 26 when Brian Harvey was DL. Made his debut in the National League that night.
They have John Johnstone, a right-hander, up in the bullpen, too, with Duncan, a right-handed batter on deck, so Mutis could be in for 1 hitter.
Morandini scored the Phillies' first run in the first. Takes a pitch inside for a ball, 1-0.
There is Johnstone.
Mutis Mutis, the former Cleveland Indian, now working out of the Marlins bullpen, delivers home, and Morandini fouls it away. It's 1-1. Last year, Mutis started 13 games with Cleveland, appeared out of the bullpen only 4 times. Picked up the only complete game shutout of the year for Cleveland. Now it's his duty to keep the runners on board from scoring. They are David Weathers' responsibility. Grounded foul, it's 1-2. Weathers in 6 1/3 innings allowed 8 hits. He walked the leadoff batter in the game, Mickey Morandini, and walked no one else the rest of the way. Struck out 2 and allowed to this point 1. But all 3 runners aboard are his. He's probably still talking about that last pitch to Hatcher. Swing and a miss at a good slider. Mutis gets Mickey Morandini to strike out. That is a huge out for the Marlins.
This is what he was supposed to do, is come in and get the left-handed batter out, drop down on a breaking ball, and the Allentown native struck him out on that breaking pitch.
Johnstone is up. Mariano Duncan, the batter, meeting at the mound. Duncan hitting .318 this year against lefties.
Stay with him.
So Duncan, who's having a great year all around, especially with runners in scoring position, .365 on the year with runners in scoring position, steps up with the bases loaded. Outside, ball 1. Seven-year-old left-hander gets the side. The 1-0. Swing and a miss, 1-1.
Last night was the first time Mutis had pitched in this ballpark professionally. He did have some years with the Cleveland Indians in the major leagues. First trip to the National League with Florida.
Out of play. Mutis ahead 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Rene Lassman has 6 right-handed pitchers in that bullpen and has decided to stay with his 1 left-hander here, and so far so good for the Florida skipper. Chris Matthews pitched a lot last night. He wouldn't use Harvey, but that leaves 4 other guys he could use.
With Miller sent down to the minors, do they have to make one of those relievers into a start? You would think. The 1-2 pitch, grounded towards the hole. Abbott will make the play to third, and they get the force at third base on Kevin Stocker. So a great job by Jeff Mutis to keep this game tied at 1. We head to the 8th. We head to the 8th. It's a tie score, 1-all, as Heathcliff Slocumb will deal with the 4, 5, and 6 hitters in the Marlins lineup. Jeff Conine, Greg Colburn, and Benito Santiago lead things off. Conine fouls one back to the screen, 0-1. Conine has fly out 3 times. The middle one is sacrifice fly that placed Marlins' only run of the ball game. And for Conine, his 57th RBI on the year. In the dirt for a ball, it's 1-1. Conine's 57 RBIs are good for 5th in the National League. This guy's played in every game in the history of the Florida Marlins. Grounded towards the hole. Stocker can't get there. Probably wouldn't have had a play anyhow. And Conine has a base hit. First leadoff hitter to reach base in tonight's game for the Marlins, and that's their 7th hit.
Jeff Conine has done a good job for the Marlins. He gets a little bit of a hanging slider there. They had him defensed up the middle, and with that breaking ball out over the plate a little bit, he was able to hit in the hole left. I'll bring up former Expo Greg Colburn.
who brought a healthy batting average into the game of .371, but he's 0 for 2 tonight. Dropped a dozen points. He's walked and grounded out twice. Sixth pitch low and inside, 1-0. In case you're just tuning in, you missed the debut of Fernando Valenzuela tonight. Quite a debut with that. 6 innings of 1-run baseball, and it was an unearned run. Scored in the 3rd inning. Fernando allowed 6 hits and 2 walks. 2-0 the count to Colburn. Vernando is scheduled to next start on Sunday in Los Angeles against the Dodgers and Oral Hershiser.
Ever since George Brett, I guess they don't really care about that pine tar being up that high anymore.
And Colburn does not have that pine tar very low at all. 2-1.
Famous pine tar incident with George Brett. Darren Dalton gets smoked with another one. That one was in the mask. He got one off the shoulder earlier in the game.
They want a fastball inside on Colburn. It was outside and he swung through it. It's 2-2. Jeff Conine, the first leadoff runner of the ballgame for the Marlins. He led off the 8th with a single. Late swing. Slocumb blows it by him. His first strikeout. There's one away here in the 8th.
Colburn has a lot of movement up there. Really pulls that bat back to get started. As you see there, lifts that front leg. That's very much of a timing swing when you lift that leg in the air like that. As you said, Todd, he just blew the ball by him. His timing was way off on that.
Now Benny Santiago, who's 1 for 3 tonight. Singled his last time up. He's also popped up and grounded out. And he had some prolonged at-bats against Fernando Valenzuela. Especially his first time up, fouling off a bunch of 3-2 pitches.
Fernando did a great job tonight of not really giving in to hitters. He didn't throw balls near the middle of the plate, basically. He was in and out, mostly in, and they hit a lot of balls foul to left field tonight. They were very harmless, except for some of the fans who might have been in the way of those line drives.
The left field stands got a lot of foul ball action. A lot of right-handers pulling Fernando's stuff tonight. 2-0 the count to Santiago. Slocumb on the year in 49 2/3 innings coming in had walked 23 and struck out 40. He is prone to the wild pitch. He's uncorked 8 of them. Ground ball in the hole. Base hit Santiago. That's hit number 8 for the Marlins. And now they have a couple of runners aboard with 1 away.
Dalton wanted a fastball away that time, and it appeared that Slocumb got too much of the plate with the pitch. See if you can see what you can't tell from this angle, but he hits the ball in the hole left. But it appeared that he wanted to go a lot further away than they were able to do.
Both teams with 1 run, both teams with 8 hits. Of the 16 hits tonight, 15 singles. Andy Carter, the left-hander, Toby Borland, the right-hander. 15 singles, and only one man managed to hit more than a single tonight, and that's Vernando, who doubled down the right field line in 2 at-bats. Here's Kurt Abbott. He has one of those 15 singles. 1 for 3. Popped up, flied out, and singled back in the 2nd. Slider misses outside and low, 1-0. Slocumb has fallen behind the last 2 hitters, and now behind Abbott, 1-0. Down the right field line, slicing, foul. 1-1 the count on Kurt Abbott. Last year, the Marlins used the former Oakland A's shortstop Walt Weiss. This year, they're using the former Oakland Cincinnati shortstop Kurt Abbott. A couple of right-handers warming up. John Johnstone. Also Rob Nen, the hard-throwing right-hander.
Rob Nen is a guy, Todd, they think can be a closer for them. Brian Harvey's probably not going to be here that much longer, maybe through this year. But he's marketable, or if worse comes to worse with Harvey, his injuries are not going to let him be able to do the things he did before. So they're grooming Nen for that role. And talking to Gary Carter the other night, who's a broadcaster now for the Marlins, he really thinks he has a chance to be a closer in this league because he throws so hard.
Nen saved 6 saves in his first 6 opportunities. 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss, and a good slider. Slocumb gets Kurt Abbott swinging. His second strikeout.
Breaking ball from Slocumb. This is a pitch he's very effective against right-handed hitters when he's ahead in the count, especially. And he got Abbott to chase her. Abbott is pretty much a wild swinger. And you get ahead of him, he'll go after those.
So now 2 outs, 2 on. It's up to Brett Barbary for the Marlins and Heathcliff Slocumb for the Phils.
Barbary batting .330, .323 right-handed, .244 left-handed at the start of the game, and he's batting on the left side now for the first time tonight.
High in the air, shallow left field. Milt Thompson calls, waits, squeezes. Couple runners aboard, but no damage done. We head to the bottom of the 8th, all tied at 1. Take a look at the Budweiser scoreboard. First of all, the National League final this afternoon in Wrigley. Pirates defeating the Cubs 6-5. Brian Hunter with a grand slam. Colorado wins the first game of the doubleheader in a wild one, 10-9, just underway in Game 2 out of Mile High Stadium. Atlanta leads Montreal 5-3 in the 6th. New York leads the Cardinals 3-1 in the 6th. Brett Boone's 2-run single in the first has the Reds going against the Astros 4-2 in the 5th. And later on, San Fran in L.A. In the American League, Seattle defeats Detroit 6-4. The Yankees lead Boston 9-4 in the 7th. Cleveland over Baltimore 5-3, also in the 7th. John Olerud's 2-run single in the first has the Jays on top of Milwaukee 3-1 in the 3rd. Kansas City 3-1 over Chicago. Texas leads Minnesota 4-3. Juan Gonzalez with his 10th on the year. And California in Oakland. John Kruk leading things off for the Phils. Bottom of the 8th. It takes a called strike to the knees, 0-1.
Slocumb due to bat 3rd in this inning. He's given the Phillies 2, and that's probably all they want out of him. Their master plan now would be to score a run and bring in Doug Jones and go home.
Grounded towards the middle to his left nicely. Kurt Abbott gloves, and the shortstop throws over in time for the first out. So Mutis has come in and done a nice job. He got out of a bases-loaded 1-out jam in the 7th. And retired John Kruk to start things off here in the 8th. Here's Darren Dalton. He's 0 for 3 tonight.
Ricky Jordan out to bat for Slocumb. And in the bullpen, Quantrill if the game stays tied, and Jones if the Phillies get the lead.
Marlins haven't played a whole lot of extra inning games this year. Only 2. That's the fewest in the league. And one of those 2 was against the Phillies down at Joe Robbie Stadium.
Phillies had some leads in games down there that they wound up blowing, and then they finally lost the game in extra innings to the Marlins and beat them 3 out of 4. Phillies had a win on Sunday in the final game to avoid a 4-game sweep.
Outside, it's 3-0 to Darren Dalton. It's been a while since the Marlins have won here. They won the very first meeting between these 2 teams. See the Phillies bullpen in action.
Kim Fergosi gave Darren Dalton a shot that hit one out of the ballpark there, maybe 3-0.
After the Marlins won their first game against the Phils here at the Vet, they have dropped 7 straight. 3-1 pitch to Dalton is pop foul behind home plate, and the count's full on the Phillies catcher. 1-1 ball game. We're in the bottom half of the 8th. Glad you could join us tonight on PRISM, because we won't be with you for a while. The team heads out on the West Coast for an 11-game road trip. We'll rejoin you after the All-Star break. Swing and a miss. So Mutis comes from 3-0 and strikes out Darren Dalton.
It's a 3-2 pitch, a fastball away, and that's a really good pitch. And Dalton just tried to spoil it at the last second. Now Incaviglia is going to come out and bat.
Incaviglia thinking long ball here to try and put the Phillies on top with 2 outs and nobody on. Incaviglia brings a .245 batting average to the plate. He's second on the team in home runs with 11. And he's knocked in 23. He does have 1 pinch hit home run on the year, as you see. 5 for 15, including a pinch homer.
And he's faced Mutis twice this year. He's 1 for 1 with a walk off him. Left-handed hitters in the lineup. Rene Lassman's taking his chance now, and Mutis can keep Incaviglia in the ballpark, even if he gets a base hit, and he still has a left-hander in there to pitch to Thompson.
Called strike outside corner, 0-1. Heathcliff Slocumb leaves the game with 2 shutout innings. The 0-1 pitch. Fouled, out of play, right field side, so Mutis ahead, 0-2. Jeff Mutis from Allentown is doing a fine job pitching here at the vet. Last night came in for 2/3 of an inning. Tonight came in with the bases loaded and 1 out, got out of that giant. Ground ball past Mutis, past the diving Brett Barbary into center field. The Phillies have a runner aboard with 2 away. Incaviglia with a pinch single. That'll bring up Milt Thompson.
Here's Pete Incaviglia grounding one up the middle. Sometimes when an infielder dies, all he can do is make something bad happen. And in that case, Barbary deflected it, but he didn't deflect it that far away from one of his outfielders where Incaviglia could have wound up on second base.
Here's Thompson. He is singled and grounded out twice. Not a big lead at first for Incaviglia. The pitch home's a call of strike, 0-1. Mutis is due to lead off the next inning, so he's just trying to get through the 8th and keep this game tied. Ground ball right side, diving stop. Barbary played a second in time. Outstanding play by the Marlins second baseman to end the 8th. No runs a hit, 1 man left on base. We head to the 9th, still tied at 1.
It's like having a Phillies ticket window come right to your home. Call 463-1000 and reserve your tickets in advance. No rushing, no waiting, no hassle. 463-1000. It's like having a Phillies ticket window right in your home.
Hey, if you've been thinking about joining us at Phillies Dream Week in Clearwater, you can call right now to get the details on how you can take the field alongside Boa, Cash, Luzinski, Tacombe, Wise, and many more. It's a magical week of fun and sun. The number to call is 215-938-1200. That's 215-938-1200. We head to the 9th with a new pitcher. The score's still the same, 1-all. Paul Quantrill will take over for the Phillies here in the 9th. And the first man he will face is a pinch hitter. Quantrill on the year is appearing in his 13th game as a Philly. He's 2-0, including 1 save, an ERA of 5.32. 22 innings worth. He's allowed 23 hits and walked 5 while striking out 9. Matias Carrillo will come on to pinch hit for Jeff Mutis, who did a great job for the Marlins keeping this score tied. First pitch is outside and low, 1-0. Carrillo on the year as a pinch hitter is 2 for 12. Overall batting .276. Started last night and batted in a cleanup spot as Jeff Conine was given the night off on his 28th birthday. Inside and low to Carrillo, 2-0. Phillies have not allowed an earned run tonight. Fernando Valenzuela allowing the only run. It was of the unearned variety in the third. Phillies on the corners are guarding the line here to start things off in the ninth.
Carrillo played in the ballgame last night, batted cleanup against Sean Bosch. He took an over.
Strike, 2-2. We've seen good pitching from both sides tonight. David Weathers and Jeff Mutis getting the job done for the Marlins. The Phillies' leadoff batter in the ballgame, Mickey Morandini, crossed the plate. No one else has for the Phils. 2-2 pitch. Misses low and away. The count goes full. Phillies had an excellent opportunity to go ahead in the seventh. Bases loaded, 1 out, but Jeff Mutis came in to strike out Mickey Morandini. You got Mariano Duncan on a fielder's choice. Carrillo stays alive at 3-2. Carrillo also, like Fernando Valenzuela, spending some years in the Mexican League. But unlike Vernando, most of his early years came in Mexico. He came to the big leagues late in his career. Carrillo, now 31 years of age, didn't break into the big leagues until 91 with the Brewers. Didn't get an at-bat until last year with the Marlins. Ball's hit well to center field. Hatcher going back, looking up at what hops against the wall. Carrillo digs for second. He's there with a leadoff double to start things off here in the ninth.
Carrillo kept fouling balls off on the left side and then finally got a ball he could handle. It looked like he hurt himself a little bit too between first and second. Like he might have pulled something or is close to doing that. Saw him doing those deep knee bends out there. Here's a fastball up. Quantrill wanted that ball down and away from him, but he got it up and out over the plate and hit over Hatcher's head. Chuck Carr is down there in a conversation with his manager, Renee Latchman, as you see the ball coming back in. Latchman telling him what he wants to do, whether he wants Carr to bunt here or try to pull the ball. Carrillo, to mention, looked like he might be hobbled slightly. They don't have that many extra men, so they don't want to use 2 players for 1 move. I guess even in this situation, where it's a potential game winner.
Chuck Carr, the batter. He's going to try and move the runner along. The Phillies are in at the corners.
Well, he gave him a swing there, and then Carr took a strike. I'll see whether or not Cookie Rojas puts a bunt on to get the runner over, or to try and get him over.
Both Duncan in third and Crockett first are creeping up tight. He is around the bunt, bunts it towards the mound. Quantrill fields on a couple of hops and has just the 1 play. And with Carr, you can't take any extra time. He scoots down that line. Successful sacrifice, and now the Marlins have the go-ahead run at third base with 1 away.
They gave him 1 shot to hit away, and now they go with the bunt. And watch Carr get out of that box. He can fly. Quantrill gets a little bit of a spinner there on that high hop, and you have to hurry when Chuck Carr is out there.
He doesn't allow you any wasted motion. Phillies having a meeting now with Jerry Brown at the plate. 1 out, the tying run, rather the go-ahead run at third base, 90 feet away. So the infield is in. Brown on the night is 0 for 3. He has walked. Jerry Brown on the year, a much better right-handed hitter. He was 0 for 2 tonight right-handed, 0 for 1 left-handed. Tied at 1, top of the 9th. Backs him off the plate, almost hits him. It's 1-0. Can't get much closer than that. Both teams with 9 hits, both teams with 1 run, and the Marlins are trying to change that scoreboard. Into center field. Hatcher waits. Pretty deep. Carrillo tags. Here he comes. The throw bounces around second base, and Carrillo scores on the sacrifice fly off the bat of Jerry Brown. Marlins lead 2-1.
Good job by the Marlins to get that go-ahead run in the 9th inning, the double, and then the good bunt, and then a sacrifice fly by Jerry Brown. Very fundamental run, and they have a big 1-run lead now in the 9th inning.
Nothing fancy, just getting the job done. For Brown, RBI number 20 on the year. Here's Gary Sheffield. He's 2 for 4 on the night. Montreal not sure if he wants to throw the fastball to Sheffield.
And Rob Nen, the guy we talked about earlier, who they're grooming as a closer, is up and throwing in the Marlins bullpen. He'll come in for the bottom of the 9th inning.
He does get the fastball, and he knows what to do with it. Sheffield now 3 for 5 on the night. He owns 3 of the 10 hits.
Marshall's been having his problems. He's getting scored on quite a bit now. And I think he's got a little confidence problem working. Here comes Johnny Padres to the mound. The Phillies do not have anybody up, although they are starting to stir in the bullpen.
This July, the Phillies play the best in the National League West, and the movies heat up with True Romance, The Night We Never Met, and Rich in Love, plus new additions of Braun and Patterson, and the Great Sports Debate, as well as return visits from Susan Werner and the Giant Pandas on Live from Raptors. It's a great month of entertainment right here on PRISM. Here's Jeff Conine. He's 1 for 3, including a sacrifice fly. Drove home the game's first run for the Marlins. It tied the score at the time in the 3rd. There goes the runner. Dalton's throw is a little bit low, and Sheffield has a steal. That ball was just a few inches from being caught stealing, but instead Sheffield has his 9th steal of the year.
Shows you what a complete player Gary Sheffield is. He steals this on Quantrill. You saw he had a walking lead down there. Great jump. Dalton has to make a perfect throw, and it's a little low, and Morandini can't quite pick it on that short hop. So Sheffield steals the base, gets himself into scoring position.
Throws there.
Yeah, if he was able to handle that short hop, they'd have had it.
Instead, Sheffield in scoring position. The 1-0 pitch to Conine, the called strike 1-1.
Now this is a huge run not to allow to score. Big difference at home in a 1-run game or more. If you bunt for a tie at home, there's a lot of things you'll do in the 9th inning that you wouldn't do if it's a 2-run game.
Phillies have their 7, 8, 9 spots in the order due up. Longmire, Stocker, and Billy Hatcher. Outside, it's 2-1. Marlins lead 2-1. We're in the top of the 9th. Oh, Aaron Dalton is getting plastered tonight behind the plate.
What a night he's had. Oh, he is tough. Look at this one. Right off that shoulder again. Now, he's had 2 of them tonight. Off that right shoulder. Oh boy, that has to hurt.
Next game starts in less than 14 hours.
Really?
Or about 15 hours, I guess.
He'll be unshaven tomorrow.
Not a whole lot of downtime when the Phillies get ready to head out on the West Coast. A little bit of packing to do, and you have to get ready for that early business person special.
A lot of clothes on an 11-day road trip.
Here's the 2-2 to Conine. Outside, the count runs full. But right now, the Phillies are concerned with the Marlins. in the ninth. Florida going ahead in this inning on the sacrifice fly off the bat of Jerry Brown, scoring pinch hitter Matias Carrillo.
Somebody holding Sheffield on, he just surprised him a little bit. He's probably not going to run with 2 outs. But I'll tell you what, if he were on first base, he'd think about running. Because of that ball off Darren Dalton's shoulder. Not on this count, but on a different count. Because he's got a little trouble throwing right now.
That's outside, ball 4, and now the Marlins have 2 aboard with 2 outs, and Paul Quantrill is done for the evening.
Now Fergosi's going to have to come and get Quantrill, who is struggling. He did a really good job for the Phillies, and had trouble his last few outings. And Borland has pitched a little bit better, and they're going to have to go to Borland now.
So Quantrill will leave. The side armor, Toby Borland, jogs in from the bullpen. Marlins lead 2-1. Back after this. Marlins lead, top half of the ninth inning. They're still trying to add to that total in the ninth as Toby Borland comes on here with runners on first and second and 2 away. After the game, it's hard to kill. They thought he was dead, but he's out for revenge, and nothing stands in the way of a man who's hard to kill. Steven Seagal stars in one of the biggest box office hits immediately following tonight's game, right here on PRISM. Derek Dalton, who got smoked by a few foul balls, is now going to be taken out of the game. Jeff Cooper, the trainer, out to look at him.
I was afraid of that, Todd. I noticed, he was really having trouble throwing the ball back to Paul Quantrill after that foul tip. Now that's devastating for the Phillies. I mean, they just cannot lose Darren Dalton. There are some people they can lose. They have lost them, and they've been able to hang in there, but they cannot lose Darren Dalton as Todd Prattle head on down to the Phillies dugout. And he took that last one was a wicked one, and he took 2 of them tonight off that shoulder area. And you could tell that he was in a lot of pain after the second one. For him to come out of a game while it's still in progress is, he's really in trouble.
Toby Borland, who warmed up with Dalton catching, will now wait for Todd Pratt, who's loosening some pitchers in the bullpen. Marlins going ahead here in the top of the ninth on a sacrifice fly off the bat of Jerry Brown, and with 2 outs, Gary Sheffield singled and Jeff Conine walked.
Here it is. I mean, this one hurts in your living room. Oh, man. Tim McCarver used to work these games with us a long time ago, and he said those were the worst. Of all the things that happened when you caught, the one off your right shoulder like that, because that was off the point of the shoulder, off the collarbone area. And he said, base runners knew that after that would happen. A lot of times they would run right after that because they knew you were going to have trouble throwing. You could see Dalton having a lot of trouble throwing the ball back to the mound.
Borland's been outstanding since rejoining the Phillies. 6 scoreless innings since his return from the minors. This is his second big league stint. He was recalled from Scranton on the 21st. Picked up his first major league win here on Sunday against the Braves. He went 3 innings, allowed 2 hits, no runs, and struck out 3. Borland's been up for exactly 1 week in his second stint with the Phils. In his first big league stint, he lasted 3 games, had a 3.38 ERA. Really found himself this year down at AAA Scranton. He has some outstanding numbers going, 4-1 with a 1.68 ERA and 4 saves, and he struck out 61 over 53 2/3 innings, and this has been by far Toby Borland's best season.
He did a tremendous job the other day against the Atlanta Braves to keep that game under control. Phillies are hoping Toby Borland's arrived. They've liked him for a lot of years. It's a matter of confidence with him. They signed him as a very young player out of high school. It's taken him a while. But, Fergosi is becoming more and more confident in using him in situations where the game's on the line. And this is a big situation where he's using him here.
And he's gotten a lot of help, both physically and mentally, I think. Kent DeColby, and some talks with the former side-arming reliever who does the games for the Phils on Sports Channel. First man he faces is Greg Colbrin, who is 0 for 3 tonight, including a walk. Marlins lead 2-1 in the ninth. They have first and second with 2 outs. delivery has Colburn swinging it there, 0-2.
Borland has a real good slider. He can run away from right-handed batters, or he can run his fastball in and sink it. Let's see which way Todd Pratt decides to go. We're going away.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Borland trying to keep this at a 1-run ball game.
I bet Gary Carter in that booth next to us knows what Dalton's going through right now.
Tried to hold up, he went around, so Borland does his job. It's 2-1 Marlins as we head to the bottom of the 9th.
You deserve a break that day. The Phillies meet the Marlins in another fun day midday Mellon PSFS Business Person Special, Wednesday, June 29th, 105. Go ahead, treat yourself. Order your tickets now. Call 463-1000.
47,000 fans hoping for a bottom of the 9th inning rally. Jeff Conine shifts from left field to first base for the Marlins. Matias Carrillo, who pinch hit and doubled and scored the go-ahead run, stays in the game in left field. He'll bat in the number 9 spot and batting in the number 5 spot. The latest of the trio of closers the Marlins have employed this year, Rob Nen. Nen took over for Jeremy Hernandez, who took over for Brian Harvey, who's back on the active list, but Nen right now is still the closer, and he has been almost flawless. If you look at his numbers this year, he is 2-4 with a 3.08 ERA, but he's 6 for 6 in save opportunities. And of the 13 runners he's inherited on base, none have scored.
And he's a strikeout per inning pitch guy, which is, you know, if you can have your choice as a closer, you love the closer and come in and can strike people out.
He is a hard-throwing right-hander. Tony Longmire, Kevin Stocker, Billy Hatcher, the first 3, 2 up for the Phils in the bottom of the 9th, trailing 2-1. Then 24 years of age. Inside for a ball, 1-0.
The guy who throws as hard as he does, too, he does have tremendous control. He hasn't walked a lot of batters this year.
His father, Dick Nen, was a first baseman with the Dodgers and Cubs, also the Washington Senators. That's a called strike, 1-1. Last year he broke into the major leagues with the Texas Rangers, and he was acquired along with Kurt Miller, who pitched here last night, in exchange for Chris Carpenter. 1-1 pitch. He tried to hold up, but he went around on a good slider, 1-2. Richie Lewis is warming up as an insurance policy. We're in the bottom of the 9th. Call third strike, inside corner.
Looks like another breaking ball from Rob Nen. Let's see. Yep, slider and a beauty.
Gets the big first down here in the 9th. That'll bring up Kevin Stocker. Inside for a ball, 1-0. Hasn't always had the good control. He does have the good ratio this year, but in the minors, 266 walks in 399 innings.
Right, that's why you wonder why would Texas give up on an arm like this? Well, because he was so wild.
With the Rangers, he walked 26 in 22 innings. There's a called strike, 2-1. well to right center field. Sheffield looking up. It's off the base of the fence. Stocker to second. Stocker stays there with one away. That ball was bobbled momentarily. It got past Gary Sheffield, bobbled by Chuck Carr. And Kevin Stocker doubles off the right center field wall.
Yeah, Kevin Stocker could have known that Chuck Carr is going to bobble this. He would have been on third base. He hit the heck out of this ball. Off the base of the wall in right center field, and then it bounces away from Sheffield. Carr has it, and watch Carr bobble it here. Right here, it pops straight up in the air, but at that point, Kevin Stocker had already come into second base and was content with the double, which was a correct play, because you're not going to go to third on that play.
So now Billy Hatcher. Singleton, his only at-bat, came on as part of a double switch in the 7th inning. A balk has been called. A balk has been called with one out in the 9th, and a tying run moves to third base. Larry Vanover making the call.
Why those guys wait for these spots to do that, I don't know. They said he didn't stop. Latchman just kind of shaking his head.
Inside and low to Hatcher, 1-0.
How was that a balk? Looked like he stopped. Oh well.
Infield is in for the Marlins. One out, bottom of the 9th. 2-1 Marlins lead. Swing and a miss, 1-1.
See the difference in playing on the road or at home. On the road, even though the Marlins are ahead, they won't give up the tying run. So they play the infield in. If they were home, they might play the infield back and give up a tying run in the 9th inning and you have the last at bat. But on the road, they won't play it in.
Ground ball right side, and it works. The infield in as Barbary throws to first, and Rob Nen gets a huge out.
Yep, they do the right thing there. They have the infield in, and Hatcher hits it right at Barbary, who throws him out. So now they can take their infield back and work on Morandini.
This team does lead the league in wild pitches, but the hard-throwing Nen has only uncorked 2 wild pitches this year. Morandini the batter, 2 outs, a runner on third. Good fastball for a called strike, and that had the radar guns popping behind home plate. Stocker represents a tie game. Nothing in 2.
Good slider. Well, Rob Nen has 2 hard pitches. Fastball and slider, and that's why you can see he's getting a lot of strikeouts. They're both potential strikeout pitches.
Mickey Morandini will choke up a little bit here with an 0-2 count. Fastball just misses, 1-2.
Baby.
Woo. Marlins are ready to run out of the dugout. They've lost 7 in a row in this building. They were a couple of inches away from snapping that streak. Instead, Morandini's still alive, 1-2. Looks like they wanted the breaking ball here. He got him swinging. Santiago dives and misses him. The throw is in time, and that'll do it. An exciting finish to a well-played game. Rob Nen comes on to close it out for his 7th save and 7 opportunities, and the Marlins score a run to the top of the 9th to win it by the final of 2-1. Morandini swung and missed at a curveball, and Santiago dived to tag him, missed him, but quickly sprung to his feet to make the throw. And here's another look.
Here's a breaking ball here that Morandini swings and misses. Bobbled there by Santiago, dives at him, and now he has to throw to first, which he does. Good ball game tonight. Phillies fall a run short.
2-1 the final. 24-year-old Rob Nen has been great in the closer's role. We'll be back to talk about it after this.